Chapter 3:16. Swallowing Beast. Haha, a live swallowing beast. Tuoliwu, Ahiman and Abuluot, the three captains all shouted excitedly. The other members were all extremely excited. They were very clear on the Nuland Shan family's rules. The bigger the contribution, the bigger the reward. If they could capture the swallowing beast alive, the reward would definitely be shocking. How could they not be excited? Not right. Tuoliwu stopped. Ahiman, Abuluot, you two bring people to chase the swallowing beast first. I'll follow in a while. Tuoliwu ordered. Don't worry. Ahiman and Abuluot brought the others and swiftly disappeared into the horizon. Tuoliwu, however, floated in mid-air, his consciousness immediately entering the virtual universe network, sending a message to his superior. Lord Pulla, that golden-horned beast isn't dead. It's still alive. It's appeared on Earth again. This is the footage taken by the other members. At the same time, he sent the footage over. After which Tuoliwu immediately left the virtual universe network. Splash! Tuoliwu's body fell right into the ocean, creating a snow-white splash. As his body was in a state of unconsciousness before, he naturally fell straight down. I've already notified the family. Next, Tuoliwu flew out from the ocean, licking his lips, his eyes glowing green. It's time for me to make a contribution. Capturing the golden-horned beast alive, ha 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 ha. Tuoliwu became a beam of light with shocking speed, breaking through the skies and chasing. In a short while, Tuoliwu saw, in mid-air in front of him, a group of Nuland Shan guards dressed in armor. All of different appearances were floating. What's going on? Tuoliwu raged. Why aren't you chasing? Captain. Ahiman and Abuluot turned to look. That swallowing beast is at the bottom of the ocean. We can see it with the naked eye, however. Captain, do you smell blood? Blood smell? Tuoliwu sniffed. Star Level 9 warriors, be it hearing or smell, were much stronger than normal people. With a careful sniff, he could smell the stench of blood that permeated the surroundings. We've just contacted the other members. None of them replied. Not a single reply. All the Star Level 8 and 7 members are like that. Ahiman and Abuluot said seriously. This caused Tuoliwu's heart to tremble. All the other members had no reply? This was too exaggerated. The two sides had only been separated for a few minutes. In such a short time, all 44 members had died? Tuoliwu asked himself, although he was ranked in the top 10 of the 8,000 Nuland Shan guards, to kill those 44 team members. He alone could do it, but that would require sufficient time. This swallowing beast is so powerful? Tuoliwu frowned, looking down at the sea below. With his eyesight, he could indeed see the black shadow at the bottom of the sea. The AI on Tuoliwu's wrist sounded, long-distance test. Master, the space beast below is a Star Level 7. Seventh Order? The group of Nuland Shan guards standing in mid-air all looked at each other, discussing softly. About 2,000 meters above the sea. Like a continuous mountain range, the golden-horned beast was at the bottom of the sea. Its body length was about 700 m, that scaled tail was about the same length as its body. Yes, Star Level 7. Back when Luo Feng first left Earth for Dragon Star, the golden-horned beast was only a Star Level 4. According to the golden-horned beast's normal training, the first 3 levels of the Star Level added together took 1.5 years to complete. Star Level 4, 5, 6, every breakthrough required 2 years. Star Level 7, 8, 9, every breakthrough required 12 years. Breaking through from the Star Level 9 to the Universe Level 1, however, required over 50 years. Back when Luo Feng sold the Arc Cutter Blade, he spent over $1 billion Black Dragon dollars to buy a large amount of metals, increasing his evolution efficiency by 51 times. After returning that time, Luo Feng trained on Earth for a little over a month. The Universe Explorers came. 3 months later, the family fleet came. However, they were afraid of the Empire's laws and left, only secretly leaving behind a small elite team. operating under the name of Space Pirates. After another 6 to 7 days, Luo Feng battled with the remaining elite team, which meant Luo Feng used the metal that increased his evolution efficiency by 51 times, training for about 4.5 months. 4.5 months, 51 times the evolution efficiency, that was comparable to 19 years of normal evolution. From star level 4 to 6, it required 4 years. From 6 to 7, it required 12 years. Hence, the golden horned beast was indeed already at the star level 7 level. If another 2 or 3 months passed, the golden horned beast's body would be at the star level 8. The star level 7 golden horned beast. How strong was it? One had to know. A few with special training, with powerful spirit weapons, could already fight 2 or 3 levels higher. For example, back then, Luo Feng could easily fight 3 or 4 levels higher. Of course, the main reason was that the warriors of Earth didn't have a system of training, and didn't have any good weapons. Being bullied by Luo Feng wasn't weird. In the vast universe, elites nurtured by large powers, fighting 2 or 3 levels higher was very normal. And the golden horned beast? If it was the same level and level, the golden horned beast could be considered invincible. Only a very, 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 very small chance would appear, an absolute genius that could defeat the golden horned beast of the same level and level. That was simply a sick existence. Back then, the golden horned beast was a star level 1. Hong and Thunder God were known to be invincible in the Star Traveler level, with domains. When they first ignited their souls, they couldn't even break through the golden horned beast scales. In the end, Hong, who had reached the domain level 2, used his strongest move to break through. It wasn't that the star level 1 was that strong, it was just that the golden horned beast was too sick. Back then, when Luo Feng ignited his soul, using the UNMO planet technique to attack the heavily injured golden horned beast, it was completely unable to break through the golden horned beast's soul defense. In the end, it was the inherited soul imprint left behind by his teacher that ignited and became an attack that broke through the golden horned beast. It was so hard to kill it back then because the golden horned beast was simply too sick. Amongst the human geniuses in the universe, there were a few star level 7 warriors that could kill a star level 9 alone. Star level 7 golden horned beast? Towards star level 7 humans, 99. 99% of them could use the swallowing talent technique to directly kill them. It was simple, killing a star level 8 human, it was completely overwhelming. If it was against a star level 9 human, even though it could gain the upper hand and kill 1 or 2. However, against a group of star level 9 humans, it was still very troublesome. More importantly, within this group of star level 9 humans, there were strong warriors too. Just like Tuo Lei Wu, one person was equivalent to 10 normal star level 9 humans. Same level and level, there was still a difference in battle strength. Hence, the golden horned beast would only be in the ocean. In the ocean, its strength wasn't affected. However, the group of Nulan Shan guards were affected. In the air above the ocean. Listen to my orders. 3 small teams, from 3 directions, attack at the same time. I don't believe that a star level 7 swallowing beast, against 15 of our Nulan Shan guards, can still win. Tuo Lei Wu's green eyes emitted a vicious glint. Capture the swallowing beast alive. A Heman roared. Right, capture it alive. A Buluot shouted too. Attack. Tuo Lei Wu's loud voice resounded. Rumble. 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 The 3 small teams became 3 long chains of light, charging straight into the ocean. A distance of 2,000 m, against this level of battle, it was a joke. Wu, the mountain range like golden horned beast, let out a cry of joy, raising its head. A pair of huge dark golden eyes looked at the 3 lightning-fast teams charging into the ocean. Rumble! The huge scaled tail was like a huge python fiercely piercing through the ocean, directly sweeping towards one of the elite teams. Attack! The captain of the elite squad, Armand, roared out. Immediately, a number of ordinary energy weapons glowed brilliantly as they shot towards the incoming tail. Armand was even using a level 1 energy weapon. Yes, the Newland Shan guards were all equipped with energy weapons, battle armor, and spirit weapons, battle armor. However, based on their battle strength, most Newland Shan guards used normal energy weapons, which were very cheap. And the stronger ones like a Heman and a Biluot used level 1 energy weapons, which had additional effects on their battle strength. And Tua Lei Wu and those absolute elites were even equipped with level 2 energy weapons that could unleash their star-level battle strength, the level 2 energy weapons, spirit weapons. Rumble, the scaled tail was extremely swift and slippery, clashing with 2 of the energy weapons, before swiftly disappearing. "My hands are numb." "That's strong enough," a Heman shouted loudly in delight. Tua Lei Wu, who was in charge of the entire situation, couldn't help but laugh. Facing an opponent 2 levels lower than him, even though it was the extremely famous Golden Horned Beast. But on his side, they were all formed into teams of 5, attacking together. If they still couldn't withstand it, then that would be too sick. "Surround and attack," Tua Lei Wu ordered. "All right." A Heman roared excitedly. "Kill." A Biluot's eyes gleamed. Rumble, rumble, rumble. In an instant, it was as though the sky was falling and the earth was splitting apart. The 3 Newland Shan guard teams madly surrounded and attacked the Golden Horned Beast. The Golden Horned Beast was indeed very strong, but in front of the 15 Newland Shan guards who were very good at cooperating, it could only be considered a bitter struggle. It was completely at a disadvantage. "Woo!" A loud and crazed roar resounded. The black horn on the Golden Horned Beast's head was covered in dense golden markings that suddenly lit up. It was extremely dazzling, following which the golden light flowed along the golden markings to its 4 claws, tail and wings. The strengthening of the 3 great natural abilities. "Everyone's risking their lives," a Heman shouted. "Don't kill it, we have to capture it alive." Tua Lei Wu shouted. Rumble, the gigantic claw fiercely stomped down. A Biluot and the other 4 members crazily brandished their weapons. Rumble, the Golden Horned Beast's claw fiercely stomped down on 3 of the energy weapons. The Golden Horned Beast's mountain-like body staggered, and a Biluot and the other 4 members were immediately split apart by the attack. 2 of them even spat out fresh blood with a "wah" sound. "So strong in an instant? That's too sick." A Heman and a Biluot stared with their eyes wide open. It was 2 levels lower, and it was still able to destroy 5 human warriors? Chapter 317. Rumble, rumble, the strengthened Golden Horned Beast's strength had obviously increased explosively. Every step of its claws, the swipe of its tail, the attack of its wings, were much stronger than before. The 3 teams no longer had the feeling of playing a game like before, instead they felt the strain. Both sides were now in a state of equal strength. "Captain!" a Heman and a Biluot shouted. Every word was transmitted through genetic energy. Genetic energy, genetic energy. Transmission's theory was extremely simple. It was to use the genetic energy to achieve the same effect as a telephone line, allowing the sound to swiftly travel to the desired location. This was a common technique used by fighters in the universe. Towards spirit readers and fighters who had spirit energy and genetic energy, they naturally had techniques that were different from normal humans. Genetic energy transmission was one of them. "Let's begin." Tuoliwu's eyes were filled with excitement. That pure and powerful star energy coursed through his entire body, even infusing into the battle axe in his hands. "Understood." A Heman and a Biluot were excited too. Yes, it was time to unleash the strongest move. The 15 Newland Shan guards had a hard time unleashing a powerful combined attack, but Tuoliwu, a Heman and a Biluot were able to achieve the best results, unleashing their strongest attack. With a Biluot and a Heman as support, Tuoliwu as the tip of the blade, unleashing their strongest attack. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The 3 blinding lights seemed to merge into one, after which a blinding blurry golden battle axe chopped towards the golden-horned beast. Woo, the golden-horned beast didn't dodge at all, directly using its heavenly pillar-like thick claws to trample over. Tuoliwoo and the rest didn't seem to care about attacking anywhere else. Perhaps they were worried about killing the golden-horned beast, hence they chose to meet force with force. The golden battle axe and the claws clashed together. Woo! An enraged cry of pain resounded. Fresh blood sprayed out, the scales on the claws were shattered. A huge wound appeared at the bottom of the claws, almost splitting the claws in half. Big fellow, the defense of its scales is really strong. Let's give it a few more hits. Beat it until it hurts, then capture it alive. Haha, let's do it. Tuoliwoo and the other 2 captains were extremely excited. The 12 Newland Shan guards who were floating in the water were watching the show. The injured golden-horned beast's eyes flashed with coldness. It opened its mouth again, and an object wrapped in energy flew out. That was a broken blade? No, it's Luo Feng's strongest weapon, the hybrid copper essence shard. The golden-horned beast that was under the innate strengthened state, because of the mysterious golden engravings, whether it was speed or other aspects, even its soul attacks all rose to a new level. The strengthened golden-horned beast combined with the hybrid copper essence shard, just how strong would it be? Whoosh 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 whoosh, the revolving and dancing hybrid copper essence fragments, like a ray of light, instantly swept past Tuoliwoo and the other 2 captains. Tuoliwoo's eyes widened. That ray of light had already arrived in front of him, and his hard skull was directly sliced open. Following that, the heads of the 2 captains beside him were also sliced open, and they died instantly. Dead. The 3 captains had died in a single exchange. This scene caused the 12 Newland Shan guards in the distance to be completely stunned. Oh my God! Impossible! Quickly flee! One of the Newland Shan guards turned and fled. The others too were shocked, choosing to scatter and flee without hesitation. Shio 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 shio, a blood-red ray of light, extremely fast. It ran much faster than the Newland Shan guards, transforming into a strange arc, like a skewer of candied fruits, piercing through the heads of the Newland Shan guards. In less than 0.001 seconds, the heads of the 12 Newland Shan guards were all pierced through, dead beyond death. The golden-horned beast that was as large as a mountain range coldly stared at the corpses one by one. The wounds on its claws were constantly expanding with fresh red flesh, swiftly recovering. Who? The golden-horned beast disappeared. A black-haired man dressed in a blood-red armor appeared in mid-air. Due to the disappearance of the golden-horned beast's huge body, it caused a large amount of water to crazily surge towards it. The experiment can be considered a success. The golden-horned beast's strength, I finally have a clear understanding of it. The strengthened golden-horned beast combined with the strongest weapon, the hybrid copper essence shard, is indeed ridiculously strong. Luo Feng's mind flashed with many thoughts, after which he ordered, Babata, when we return, disguise the hybrid copper essence shard a little, at least make it hard for people to recognize it as the hybrid copper essence. After giving the order, Luo Feng, who was in the middle of the raging sea, glanced at the surrounding Newland Shan guards' corpses, the corners of his lips curling upwards. This battle, before it even began, the outcome had already been decided. Virtual universe. Pulla was respectfully and excitedly standing in front of a screen. On it were the 3 heads of the Newland Shan family in history. Dressed in a dark green armor, the head Newland Shan's cold eyes were filled with excitement. Alive? That golden-horned beast infant is actually alive? Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. This is the video Tuoliwoo and the others just recorded. Please take a look, head ancestor. Pulla replied loudly. The video started playing. Newland Shan and the other 2 heads all stared intently. Yes, it's the golden-horned beast, 2 sharp horns? Looking at the length of the horns, it should be a star level 7. Newland Shan nodded. A star level 7 golden-horned beast, with 15 Newland Shan guards working together, They'll definitely have the upper hand. Head ancestor. Yuka and Dawon, the two heads, looked at the head ancestor, of which Dawon Nulan Shan couldn't help but ask, "Can the Nulan Shan guards capture the golden horned beast alive?" "There's hope." Nulan Shan nodded, taking a deep breath, suppressing the excitement within. My God! This was the golden horned beast, the pinnacle of bloodlines in the universe. In terms of numbers, it was even rarer than the undying beings. A golden horned beast infant, even an undying being would fight for it. He, Nulan Shan, a universe level 9 in the universe, he was just an unremarkable person. He actually had hope of acquiring the golden horned beast infant? This was too unbelievable. Shem. If the golden horned beast were to be acquired, with my Battleaxe fighter title, I can sell the infant through the Battleaxe Coliseum, obtaining shocking benefits. Nulan Shan had already thought of how to deal with the golden horned beast infant. To normal people, such a treasure was definitely a hot potato. Even a universe-level warrior would find it hard to deal with the golden horned beast infant. And Nulan Shan had an extremely safe method. Immediately contact the members on Earth. I want to personally question them, Nulan Shan ordered. Yes, head ancestor. Pulla said respectfully. I'll contact each and every one of them now. The moment the battle ends, they will immediately enter the virtual universe network. Pulla began to contact the 60 members on Earth. Dida. Why isn't anyone replying? Even if it's a battle with the golden horned beast, the star level 7 and 8 members, there's no need to participate, right? Silence. The head ancestor Nulan Shan snorted softly. Time passed second by second. The three heads and Pulla were all anxiously waiting. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. The head ancestor Nulan Shan's expression, from the initial excitement, to his eyebrows furrowed, after which his expression grew uglier and uglier, before finally turning green and finally expressionless, his eyes looking like he was about to devour someone. Stop contacting them, they're dead, they're all dead, Nulan Shan said coldly. Shwa. Nulan Shan himself disappeared from the screen. Obviously he had left the virtual universe network. The two heads and Pulla's expressions were extremely ugly. Yes. They all understood those people were all dead. Because of Pulla's call request, those people didn't dare to reject it. Secondly, even if they were to capture the golden horned beast alive, those star level 7 and 8 warriors didn't even need to participate in the battle, but they didn't reply, which meant that the star level 7 and 8 warriors were all dead. As for the group of Nulan Shan guards, even if they fought, the amount of time they could fight was very short. After such a long time, not a single one of them replied. Obviously, they were all dead. The plan this time had failed. In the vast Black Dragon Mountain star field, among the 500 vassal states, there was one extremely powerful vassal state, the Callow Empire. The Callow Empire occupied 26 galaxies. One had to know that many weak elementary-level empires in the universe only had 2 galaxies. The Silver-Blue Empire was considered one of the stronger ones. Within the Callow Empire there was an extremely famous planet, Ice Mist Planet. Ice Mist Planet was the Nulan Shan family's base. Over 3,000 Nulan Shan guards were gathered here, along with the normal 30,000 Ice Mist guards. The requirement to join the Ice Mist guards was to reach the star level, meaning the entire planet's star-level warriors numbered in the tens of thousands. This power was simply too terrifying. The Callow Empire's third family, to be able to be called the third strongest, it wasn't just because of Nulan Shan alone. No matter how strong Nulan Shan was, he was still just one person. What he relied on was the large army under him, directly leading over 1,000 life planets, using star-level warriors to form an army, their power threatening the surrounding tens of thousands of life planets. In this galaxy, they were the most powerful family. Ho-ho, the cold wind howled. Ice Mist Planet was known for its cold. In the extreme north of the planet, there was a black mountain range. The temperature here was shockingly low. So, Two human silhouettes flew through the air towards the Black Mountain Range. One of them had pointy ears. He was a Newland Shan family member. The other was dressed in a black robe. Only one could vaguely see a small curved horn on his forehead. The two of them directly flew into a cave within the Black Mountain Range. Deep within the cave, a man dressed in a dark green armor, his entire body emanating a cold aura, sat crossed-legged on a black rock. Head ancestor. Teacher. The two of them bowed respectfully. Dewan by Callow. The man sitting crossed-legged opened his eyes, his gaze sweeping past the two. His gaze had a rare sense of warmth. You both know the situation. Your target is Earth. The first target is that automaton ship. As for the golden-horned beast infant, it'll depend on luck. Head ancestor, we still have hope of capturing that infant beast. Dewan said. No. The head ancestor Newland Shan shook his head. The golden-horned beast's intelligence is very high, it's very cunning. After experiencing this danger, there's an 80 to 90% chance it will leave Earth. When that time comes, it will drift about in the universe, and when you reach Earth in 2 years without any target, how will you find it? Find a target in the universe? The two of them were silent. Go. Bring the automaton ship back. The golden-horned beast infant will depend on luck. The head ancestor Newland Shan said. Yes, head ancestor, teacher. The two universe-level warriors bowed respectfully. Virtual universe, in the corner of a noisy bar, Luo Feng sat with his eyes closed. Luo Feng, I've already placed an order. I've ordered a large amount of planet defense equipment, warning satellites, etc. When the time comes, we'll form a very tight defense system within the entire solar system. If those universe ships ever appear in the solar system again, we'll definitely be able to easily discover them. Hearing Babata's words, Luo Feng was very satisfied. The crisis this time was considered to have passed. From Su Xin and the others who were once taken as hostages, he found out that there were originally a total of 80 people, with 4 captains. One of the teams went into the universe because of the coordinates Luo Feng gave them. The other 3 were killed by Luo Feng. As for the remaining team, Luo Feng didn't treat it as a threat, however. He couldn't be careless. Earth had already suffered enough from not being able to match up to others. Hence, Luo Feng wanted to purchase an entire planet defense system. This sort of thing was extremely costly. Normal planets in the universe would at most have a low-level defense system, however Luo Feng chose a high-level one. When the time comes, it would cover the entire solar system. The entire solar system would be under surveillance. This was considered one of the best in the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, those stealth ships etc. When the time came, they wouldn't be able to hide at all, they would all be revealed. Also, I hope that around the wormhole, there will be a warning system installed. The moment a ship passes through that wormhole, I'll be the first to know. Luo Feng said, the Newland Shan family probably won't give up. Relax, I've already considered this. Babata shouted. Everything had been prepared. Earth was no longer a threat. Once the planet's defense system was ready, Luo Feng could relax. As for the Newland Shan family, even if they really sent people, it would be another 2 years and 8 months later. Third brother. Hong and Thunder God entered the bar, heading straight for Luo Feng. Before this, the two had long received Luo Feng's notice. Knowing that the trouble had been resolved, Luo Feng had even arranged a meeting point. HM? Luo Feng looked shocked. His 2 big brothers felt different from before. Where have you 2 been? I feel like you 2 are different from before. Luo Feng was hesitant. Haha, I told you, third brother's senses are very sensitive, you'll definitely be able to sense it. Thunder God laughed. I thought I was wrong. Luo Feng looked curiously at the two. Right, we went to a very special place. Hong laughed too. What place? Luo Feng was curious. Hong and Thunder God exchanged glances. Don't keep us in suspense. Luo Feng couldn't help but urge. Hong revealed a smile, saying word by word, killing, fields. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows suspiciously, muttering to himself, killing fields? The 5th chapter, Universe Adventurer, has finished. The 6th chapter is about to begin. The next chapter won't be limited to Earth. Luo Feng is about to enter the vast universe, with large amounts of universe warriors. I've seen the rewards in the book review section. Thank you, drunkard, spring flower, handsome guy, seeing my brothers, sisters, supporting me. Tomato's heart is filled with joy and excitement. Actually, I really want to fight for the monthly votes. However, the tenosynovitis has been bothering me. The more I type, the more my fingers hurt, hence I won't fight for it. We'll rely on the quality to let everyone vote. If you're happy, then vote. If you're not satisfied, then go to the review section and nag, hehe. Just want to say, Tomato is extremely satisfied to have readers like you. Thank you, brothers and sisters. Chapter 3:18. This killing fields, what kind of place is it? Luo Feng asked. It's a good place. Thunder God pretended to be mysterious. If you go there once, you'll love going there in the future. Hong was also keeping her in suspense. A crisp voice rang out. The killing fields is a special training ground for fighters and spirit readers to use. Over there, you could find any kind of opponent you wanted. Group battle? One-on-one? Fighting against a world overlord? This slaughter arena can satisfy you. Of course, the daily fee is very high. Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God turned their heads. The one who spoke was Babata on Luo Feng's shoulder. Luo Feng, the voice resounded in Luo Feng's mind. This killing fields is also part of my training plan. Originally, I was going to tell you the bank account number that teacher gave you. However, you were busy dealing with that Nulan Shan family fleet. I don't have time to go to the slaughterhouse either. Let's go now. That place is pretty good. Praised by Babata? Let's go, we'll go take a look now. Luo Feng couldn't wait any longer. I knew you couldn't wait. Thunder God took the drink and finished it in one gulp. The three of them paid the bill and immediately left the bar. The Black Dragon Mountain Island in the virtual universe was incomparably vast. Hence, there was a transfer channel within the island. Depending on the distance, one had to pay. The price of teleporting within the island wasn't high, but if you wanted to go to the Ganwu continent from the Black Dragon Mountain Island, the price would be shocking. Black Dragon Mountain Island, killing field. Wow! It was like a sea of blood in the background, and a single drop of blood was the most eye-catching. The entire hall was shrouded in such a background. The hall was so vast that one couldn't see the end of it. There were very few people in the hall, but because the hall was as big as a city, there were probably over 10,000 people. In the killing fields, the prices are very high. For example, I need 1 million Black Dragon dollars a day, or 700 Ganwu dollars. Hong said in a low voice. So expensive? Luo Feng was shocked. For a normal planet like Bailan Star, the richest person's assets were around 100 million Black Dragon dollars. In other words, the richest people on the planet did not have the ability to provide for their children to train in the killing fields for a long period of time. After all, 100 million Black Dragon coins was only enough for 100 days. No wonder there weren't many people here. Third brother, you're a star level 1, the price should be higher. Hong said softly. Yes, spirit readers are more expensive than fighters. On the side, Thunder God said, I need 2 million Black Dragon dollars a day. You're a spirit reader, so I've seen that you need 5 million Black Dragon dollars a day, or 3,500 Ganwu dollars. It's too dark. Luo Feng was completely shocked. Moreover, the higher you go, the more powerful you are, and the more shocking the price of spending a day here. Thunder God spoke in a low voice. If world overlords came here, the amount of money they would need in a single day would be an astronomical figure to us. High price? What a joke, tall my ass. Babata's voice resounded in Luo Feng's mind. To be able to provide any enemy you want, even space techniques, spirit weapons etc. can be used here. Where else can you find such an environment? This place is a good place for families, sects, organizations, empires and other powers to nurture their elite. Luo Feng nodded. Go and bind your bank account, Thunder God said. This way, you can directly deduct the money from your bank account when you spend it. Understood. Where do I bind it? Asked Luo Feng. Follow me. Under Hong and Thunder God's lead, Luo Feng went to the counter to bind his account. At the end of the large hall there were many corridors. Every corridor you enter, you'll immediately enter a killing field that belongs to you alone. Thunder God said softly, whatever opponent you want, feel free to choose. We won't be following you in now. Hong smiled. Luo Feng nodded. During the conversation, Luo Feng saw many people walking along the corridors. There were many universe mercenaries. Even Luo Feng saw a universe 2-star mercenary. One had to say, it was rare to see a powerful warrior on the Black Dragon Mountain Island. However, in this killing field, they could be seen everywhere. Also, do you see that old man over there? Thunder God said softly. HM? Luo Feng turned to look. There was indeed a green-skinned old man with a head full of wrinkles, squinting his eyes as he sat on a chair, very relaxed. The other people sitting and resting in the large hall beside him didn't disturb him. From an Earth person's point of view, this old man's appearance was unsightly. However, he gave off a strange feeling of peace and tranquility. He's called Man Luo. He's the person in charge of the Killing Field's Black Dragon Mountain Island division. Thunder God said softly, we saw a good show before. This old man fiercely reprimanded 2 universe mercenaries, however those 2 mercenaries didn't even dare to talk back. Luo Feng was shocked. In the virtual universe, even if you were an undying being, you still couldn't kill anyone in the virtual universe. After all, this was just a network. Hence, even if you were a big figure, they would respect you and give you face. If they didn't respect you, they wouldn't care about you. To be able to make the 2 universe mercenaries not dare to talk back, it was indeed strange. The green-skinned old man in the distance looked towards Luo Feng and the others, smiling. Damn. Luo Feng and the others were shocked. He heard it? Forget it, let's hurry and enter the killing field. Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God each followed a corridor and entered the depths. As they walked, suddenly the space around them changed. It was a vast space. Luo Feng stood on a meteorite, a golden book appeared in his hands. The book seemed to be made of metal. After reading it once, Luo Feng understood. This is the killing field? Babata, send out the request. I need 1,000 Star Traveler Level 9 fighters as opponents. Luo Feng's eyes were slightly red, licking his lips. I've endured for too long. It's time to vent. After the possession, Luo Feng had a bloodthirsty killing impulse every day, attacking his soul time and time again. It was just that Luo Feng had been enduring it. No problem. Luo Feng, I've set the battle environment to be a desert. 1,000 opponents will use normal genetic energy weapons. You will choose the Level 3 Spirit Weapon Soaring Shuttle, Level 2 Battle Armor. Babata said, the request has been sent. As long as there were any weapons in the universe, 99% could be chosen in the killing field. Rumble, the killing field began to change, the original space disappeared, the surroundings became a vast desert. Luo Feng stood on the desert ground, dressed in a blood-red battle armor. Before him floated the soaring shuttle. Simultaneously in the distant sky appeared a blur of fighters dressed in white battle armor, wielding all sorts of weapons. Kill him! The majestic fighter army, all of them red-eyed as they rushed towards Luo Feng. Luo Feng, however, revealed a smile that came from the bottom of his heart. In an instant, the soaring shuttle split into 30 blades. They were very thin and small blade. Each of the 30 blades was a little bit apart from each other, naturally forming the shape of a swordfish. At the same time, there was a faint golden thread on each blade, causing the golden thread to run through each blade, forming a vivid swordfish. Soaring shuttle's second form, swordfish formation. Rumble, 1,000 strong fighters charged, like a dark cloud pressing down on Luo Feng. So, Luo Feng rushed into the sky, rushing straight into the large group of fighters. Ah! Chi! Wherever that golden swordfish went, there would be a rain of blood. However, the entire fighter army ignored the losses, madly surrounding Luo Feng to kill him. Time passed minute by minute, not a single fighter retreated, all the way until the last fighter became a rain of blood falling from mid-air. The battle ended. Luo Feng, whose entire body was covered in blood, stood in the desert, letting out a long sigh. Much better. You've been forcefully suppressing that killing intent every day. The longer it goes on, the more uncomfortable you feel. Until the very end, your entire being might go crazy. Now that you've gone on a killing spree, it's a good way to vent. It'd be weird if you didn't feel good. Babata, is this the side effect of the possession? Luo Feng was helpless. Before the possession, he was very decisive in killing, however it wasn't to the extent that there was always a bloodthirsty killing intent within. This bloodthirsty killing intent was completely ingrained in his bones. Every single golden-horned beast was famous for its bloodthirst and killing intent. Even though Luo Feng's human soul was forcefully suppressing it, it could only suppress it and not eliminate it. You've gotten the advantage, and you're still trying to act innocent. Babata despised. Ha. Luo Feng looked at his own body. If I didn't have this level 2 armor set, I'm afraid I'd be dead. 1,000 star traveler levels 9, killing a star level 1 was very easy. Even though Luo Feng's consciousness was strong, his spirit weapon's power was shocking. He still suffered a few heavy injuries, relying on the armor to reduce the attack power by half. The years of bloodthirsty killing intent he had been suppressing were finally released. The first time, he crazily slaughtered 1,000 star traveler level 9 fighters. The second time, he battled with 10 star level 1 fighters alone, killing 8 before dying from his heavy injuries. The third time, Luo Feng directly used his opponent Thunder God, a star level 1 with a level 1 domain, using a level 2 genetic energy weapon, level 2 armor. In the end, Luo Feng was killed by Thunder God. Only now did Luo Feng realize that he was stronger than Thunder God in the past because of his spirit weapon. If he gave Thor a grade 2 origin power weapon, he would lose. The fourth time, Luo Feng once again set his opponent to be on par with Hong. After a total of 98 battles, Luo Feng finally felt extremely tired, at the same time, extremely satisfied. Satisfied? He had never experienced such a satisfying battle in his entire life, being able to choose any opponent, setting his opponent's strength. Tired? Babata looked at Luo Feng lying in the desert. Luo Feng, since you've already finished your battles, I'll tell you about the most important use of the killing fields. This place's expenses are very high. You only need 3,500 Ganwu dollars a day. A universe level 1 spirit reader would require 350,000 Ganwu dollars. A domain lord level 1 would require 35 million Ganwu dollars. A sector lord level 1 spirit reader would require 3.5 billion Ganwu dollars a day. Do you know why it's so expensive? If it's so expensive, why would a sector lord come? Luo Feng was shocked. Sector lord, joining a strong empire, one would be able to obtain an entire galaxy as their territory, being able to build their own world. 3.5 billion Ganwu dollars, even though they could afford it, no one was stupid. This killing fields had to have a corresponding value, only then would it attract them. This is the most important place of the killing fields. You, Hong and Thunder God don't even know. Babata proudly raised his head. P.S. Chapter 1 has arrived. Chapter 319. What's the important use? Luo Feng asked urgently. The first use is something everyone knows, it's to choose the opponent you want to battle against. The second use is more important. Babata's little face revealed a proud smile. You've read that metal book before, you know, you can set your opponent as you please, right? Yes. Luo Feng nodded. The second use is you can set your opponent. Body quality, spirit reading strength, consciousness, ultimate moves, weapons etc., they'll all be exactly the same as you. The only difference is the opponent's experience is incomparably rich, extremely good at battle. Babata said, "Do you understand what I mean?" Luo Feng was shocked, after which he was overjoyed. Right. The opponent was himself, an extremely experienced, extremely good at battle. This kind of spar, looking at the opponent's battle techniques etc., it was very easy to absorb experience. After all, the opponent's body, consciousness, spirit reading etc. were all the same as himself. Through this method, you can swiftly absorb experience. Babata said. Of course, the above two aren't the most important. Babata laughed mischievously. Luo Feng held his breath. At least Babata's second method. Luo Feng was extremely excited. How should he improve? How should he battle? He could set his opponent and use it as a reference. This way, his battle techniques etc. could swiftly improve. It was a very effective use. To the strong warriors of the universe, which one of them isn't extremely cunning, with rich battle experience? That's why the thing that attracts them the most is, the killing fields has the teacher's effect. Babata emphasized. Teacher? Luo Feng was shocked. Right. Babata nodded. Look, Luo Feng, with your current consciousness strength, how many blades can you control? 36. Luo Feng said. The stronger the golden horned beast, the stronger Luo Feng's consciousness strength naturally grew. Right now, the golden horned beast was a star level 7, its consciousness strength could control 36 blade. According to the soaring shuttle's 3 forms and 9 levels, amplitude strength of 36, you already have the power of the 5th level. But why do you still use the 30 blades to form the swordfish formation? Babata asked. Amplitude strength of 36, it's just that I've met the requirements, there are still many difficulties in using it. Luo Feng couldn't help but to say, flexibility, usage techniques, how to drive, etc. After failing over and over again, it takes a long time for the soaring shuttle's true power to be unleashed. Right now, my amplitude strength is 36, but I still need to ponder for a long time before I can unleash the power of the 5th level. Haha Luo Feng, if you set up an opponent who also uses a soaring shuttle, set him to be able to use the 5th level of the soaring shuttle. Babata smiled, revealing 2 fangs. Like this, don't you see with your own eyes how others operate the soaring shuttle? Luo Feng's eyes lit up. The difficulty of watching someone practice over and over again in front of him was completely different from reading book. Furthermore, you can set up an opponent who can control the soaring shuttle perfectly. This way, you will be able to see exactly how to use the soaring shuttle in order to bring out its greatest power. Babata continued. Incomparably perfect? Luo Feng was very clear. The first form of the soaring shuttle, the mountain drill, didn't require any technique at all. It just shot out in a straight line. The swordfish formation, on the other hand, emphasized agility and technique. The third form was even more complicated. At this time, one's control ability was very important. In different people's hands, it would unleash different levels of power. Similarly, using the swordfish formation, if it was executed perfectly, one's battle strength might increase by 1 or 2 times. This is a free sparring partner, a free teacher. You want to learn the soaring shuttle this way, won't it work? Babata smiled evilly. You're still considered average. Like your teacher, an undying. He's quite accomplished in the aspect of space. He can even use space techniques to hide the coordinates of the universe. Babata explained, however, to continue improving, what do? I can totally set up an opponent who knows space techniques, an opponent who is a bit stronger than him in terms of space technique. This way, personally spar with the opponent time and time again. Then in terms of space, to improve, it'll be much easier than training alone. Babata explained. Luo Feng was enlightened. Many techniques that touched on the origin of the universe were vast and profound. Just watching the opponent use it, naturally it wasn't possible to learn it. However, if one already had some comprehension, sparring with an opponent who knew the technique, naturally it would be easier to comprehend more. Free sparring partner, free teacher. Luo Feng couldn't help but compliment, after which he stared. No, this place's fees are very high. High fees? Wait until you become a sector lord. Or become an undying. Just how hard is it to break through a place like the Killing Fields? To them, the price-to-performance ratio is simply too high. Spending some money that isn't too painful for them, to get an opponent they need. Babata exclaimed, "You have to know, many strong warriors are stuck at the door of the universe. Finding an opponent slightly stronger than them to fight with, it's very easy to trigger, allowing them to break through." Luo Feng couldn't help but nod. No wonder the Killing Fields dared to charge such a high price. Babata, how can this Killing Fields simulate completely realistic techniques and techniques? Luo Feng couldn't help but ask. The boss of the Killing Fields is the Virtual Universe Company. Babata said, over countless years, who knows how many warriors from the vast universe have sparred in this virtual universe. Every battle scene will naturally be recorded by the virtual universe. Hence, the virtual universe database is extremely huge. There are many secret techniques and techniques. Of course, they all unleash the techniques, and don't have much training in them. Babata explained. Luo Feng nodded. Indeed, like the Yunmo planet's soul imprint technique, even if the virtual universe network recorded the scene of him unleashing it, without the training manual, it was still useless. However, to other people who trained in the same path, it had a stimulating effect. Babata, help me set the opponent as the Golden Horn Beast, a star level 1 Golden Horn Beast. Luo Feng shouted. Luo Feng had already completely discovered the most valuable use of the Killing Fields, that was to let him have a clear direction, letting him know how to train faster. This Killing Fields was the Virtual Universe Company's database, and as one of the 5 great Leviathans, they were many times stronger than the universe countries. The battle scenes of the Golden Horned Beast, the Virtual Universe Company definitely had a reserve of it. Chi. Dead again. Again. Luo Feng stood in mid-air, looking at the terrifying Golden Horned Beast covered in black scales. He finally understood the Golden Horned Beast's strength. He was a star level 1, and his consciousness amplifier was at 36. His spirit weapon's power was extremely huge. The Golden Horned Beast too was a star level 1. One-sided. Of course it would fall by itself. The same level and level, for a human to defeat the Golden Horned Beast? That's practically an impossible task. Even if someone did, that person would be an absolute genius that was born from a trillion galaxies, and would have a being even stronger than your teacher to carefully teach him. Babata said, as for you, Luo Feng, your strength has risen too quickly, and your control of the soaring shuttle is still very rough. Even if 10 of you come, you'll still lose. Death. Death again. Luo Feng was killed time and time again by the same level and level Golden Horn Beast. There was actually another reason. Luo Feng set the Golden Horn Beast to be extremely proficient in battle. So, this is how the Golden Horned Beast should fight. The wings actually have the feeling of a blade, so the best way to use these scaled wings isn't to attack, but to slash like a blade slash, and this gliding also greatly increases its mobility. The tail has the feeling of a whip. The tail is indeed the fastest part of the Golden Horn Beast, only that I only know how to use it very simply. However, this Golden Horned Beast's tail in the Killing Fields is like a real whip. Sometimes it actually vibrates and slashes, causing the space to explode. Its power is obviously much stronger. The sharp claws don't come out. Once they come out, their power is earth-shattering. Luo Feng was immediately stomped to death by the Golden Horned Beast's claws. It's like this, it's like this. Reviving once again, Luo Feng was extremely excited. I know how to train the golden horned beast from now on. Having good talent, it didn't mean that every golden horned beast was equally strong. One had to know that in the previous generations of golden horned beasts, the absolute space technique, many died at the first level, many were stuck at the second level. However, in history there were golden horned beasts that managed to train to the third level. What did this mean? Even with the same powerful bloodline, there were differences in their internal battle strength. Luo Feng wanted to make himself the strongest golden horned beast in history. In the days to come, Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God first bought a piece of land in the Black Dragon Mountain Island 9-Star Bay, customizing a few wooden houses according to their wishes. It was completely enough for Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God's families to live there. For this, Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God even sent large amounts of consciousness-sensing helmets to Earth. Luo Feng's family all loved it here. His parents loved virtual reality games, enjoying their wonderful lives in the virtual reality games. The two children Ping Ping and Little Hai accepted Babada's education plan. From young they began to receive martial arts guidance in entertainment. The most excited was undoubtedly the little brother Luo Hua. It's too magnificent. Earth's stock market, compared to the universe's financial investment system, is like a drop of water compared to the ocean. This place is a heaven for investors that truly love finance. Luo Hua was extremely excited. He even asked for 10 sensory helmets from Luo Feng for his assistants. Since then, Luo Hua and his assistants stayed in a 3-story wooden house, beginning to analyze the finance of many universe countries, making investments. As for the capital, Luo Feng back then gave Hong and Thunder God 500 million Ganwu dollars each. Naturally, he wouldn't give less to his little brother, the same 500 million Ganwu dollars. The virtual universe, it indeed had everything. Along the way, Luo Feng also found out that the little satellite in the wormhole had discovered a universe ship. Luo Feng estimated it to be the Newland Shan family's ship. However, by the time it reached Earth, it would be 2 years and 8 months later. Luo Feng wasn't in a rush. He was currently in a state of extreme joy. 30. You say I'm crazy, Big Brother is the crazy one. The longest I've been in the killing fields is 3 days, look at Big Brother. He's actually been in the killing fields for 8 days straight, doesn't he get tired? Thunder God and Luo Feng were sitting in the corner of the killing fields hall, ordering some drinks and tea. P.S. 2 chapters completed. The 6th part of the Swallowing Space Sector Lord's World begins. Chapter 320. Within the killing fields lobby, Luo Feng and Thunder God were casually chatting. This was also an effective way to relax. Luo Feng, Thunder. Haha, it's rare to meet you two. Inch along with a clear laugh. A black-skinned brute with a body like a black bear and a skinny white-skinned red-haired youth walked over shoulder to shoulder. Bulemu Hurrah, come, sit, yelled Luo Feng as he waved his hand. They often stayed in the killing fields to train, and often chatted in the killing fields lobby, so naturally they got to know a few elites who stayed in the killing fields for a long time. Everyone was clear that those who could stay in the killing fields for a long time were either rich or had a strong background. Their futures were all extraordinary. More friends means more paths. In the future, they might need friends in the universe, so everyone made the conscious decision to make friends. In a short month, Luo Feng made friends with over 30 people, and these two in front of him were the two that he had a good relationship with. Why hasn't Hong come out yet? Said Bulemu loudly. He hasn't come out for 8 days, said Thunder God. How crazy! Hurrah couldn't help but to laugh. Oh yeah, let me tell you guys something. For a while, I'm afraid Bulemu and I won't be coming to the killing fields, nodded the sturdy brute on the side. What's wrong? Luo Feng and Thunder God froze. These two were the same as him, the type that often stays in the killing field. Bulemu and I were ordered by our teacher to apply to become a Universe Mercenary Trainee and participate in the Universe Mercenary Trainee exam. Hurrah lowered his voice. This Universe Mercenary Trainee exam is much more dangerous than normal adventures in the universe. I heard that the death rate and elimination rate are very high. If Bulemu and I don't come to the killing fields in a month, we'll probably die in the exam. I'm telling you guys today because I'm afraid that if we disappear in the future, you'll say that we're not good friends, haha. Really? Luo Feng and Thunder God were shocked. Is this Universe Mercenary Trainee exam really that ridiculous? It's dangerous, but those universe levels, domain lords and sector lords, over 99% of them are mercenaries. Herua's gaze was sharp. If I don't fight, I'll just be a small soldier in the guards, being ordered around by others. If I want to be above others and live a carefree life, I have to fight. Okay, Bulemu nodded heavily. Luo Feng and Hong exchanged glances. Because the two of them were already high and mighty on earth, they didn't feel any pressure at all. Unlike Herua, Bulemu and the others who were heavily nurtured, their living environments were much more stressful than Luo Feng's group. Those great forces would spend a lot of money and resources to nurture them. If they didn't get satisfactory results, how could the fate of those eliminated disciples be good? Herua, Bulemu, is the mercenary trainee exam really that dangerous? Thunder God was puzzled. Universe Mercenary Alliance. They were divided into adventurers, trainee mercenaries, 1-star mercenaries, 2-star mercenaries, and 3-star mercenaries. Adventurers did not need to go through an assessment. They only needed to register to become an adventurer. Trainee mercenaries needed to go through an assessment, and 1-star mercenaries needed to go through an assessment. Every title had to go through an assessment. The trainee mercenary assessment could be taken once one reached the star state. The elimination rate was extremely high. Very dangerous. A low voice came from the tall and sturdy Bulemu's mouth. His voice seemed to be echoing from his chest. Being a universe mercenary has always been a life and death adventure. Therefore, the mercenary trainee exam is the entrance exam, to eliminate fighters and spirit readers who aren't suited to be mercenaries. The exam locations are all the sector lords' worlds that have been excavated long ago. Bulemu said, in the sector lords' worlds, the Universe Mercenary Alliance will create many dangers and difficulties to eliminate a large number of people. During the elimination process, if you're lucky, you might not die, but the death rate is still very high. Sector Lords' Worlds? Luo Feng was shocked. Sector Lords' Worlds. Luo Feng did some research and asked Babata about it. In the universe, a universe-level fighter is a big boss, and if you're a domain lord, you can directly display your powerful domain in real life. A domain lord's domain isn't like Hong's or Thunder God's domain, it's thousands of times stronger. As for a sector lord, not only does he have an internal world, he can also create a world. In this world, many things can be created according to the sector lord's imagination. So many things that don't conform to common sense can happen. What are you talking about? A voice rang. Luo Feng and the others turned their heads to look. It was Hong, dressed in a black battle uniform, smiling as he walked over. His entire being gave off a high-spirited feeling. Luo Feng couldn't help but to sigh. Hong is indeed a monster. Time after time of extreme battles, most people would be extremely tired. However, Hong doesn't seem to be tired at all. I heard you guys say that the death rate is very high? Hong also pulled a chair and sat down. We're talking about the Universe Mercenary Trainee exam, said Thunder God. The instructor is here? Bulemu's low voice rang. Instructor? Herua also looked towards the entrance of the hall and immediately saw 3 silhouettes walking over. One of them was their instructor. Bulemu and Herua immediately put down their crossed legs and became much more serious. Instructor, the universe-level fighter instructor Quincy you guys were talking about before? Muttered Thunder God. Who is it? Luo Feng looked over curiously. Herua said softly, it's the baldy in the green battle uniform in the distance. Luckily, in the virtual universe, everyone's strength is fixed at the level of a beginner-level warlord. Even though you can get the virtual universe to test your strength, only in special situations like the killing fields can you display the same level of strength as in real life. And unless it's a special situation, no matter if it's a normal person or an undying fighter, they all have the body of a beginner-level warlord. Luckily that universe-level instructor's body is weak right now and can't hear, otherwise once he hears the word Baldy, he would definitely teach his elite students a harsh lesson. Baldy? Luo Feng looked carefully. In the distance there were 3 people walking shoulder to shoulder, 2 of them were Baldy, one in a green battle uniform, the other in a dark gray uniform. As for the third person, his ears were pointed, his eyes slightly red. Luo Feng's pupils contracted. This person's appearance is very similar to the Newland Shan family members. Amongst the 3 in the distance, the Newland Shan family member seemed to have noticed Luo Feng too, staring over. The 2 of them stared at each other from afar, like a needle against an awn. Mr. Newland Shan, what are you looking at? Universe mercenary Quincy turned curiously, laughing. Oh, 2 of them are students under me. Your students? Newland Shan's cold eyes glanced over. Is it that black-haired youth in the blood-red uniform? No, I don't recognize that youth. Quincy shook his head. Beside him another baldy universe mercenary said, Those 5, amongst them the black big guy and the red-haired punk, are our organization's elite students. The other 3, I don't recognize them. As long as it's not your North Dragon City, that's good. Newland Shan's eyes were cold. When he saw Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God, with one look he recognized. That black-haired youth in the blood-red uniform was the leader of Earth from the live broadcast on Earth. Luo Feng. Newland Shan immediately felt a surge of rage from within, rushing straight to his head. He, the battle-axe fighter. How heavy was his killing intent? Directly controlling over 1,000 life planets, the number of warriors under him were as many as the clouds. He hadn't felt such a sense of defeat in a long time. However, during the battle on Earth, he had indeed failed miserably. Mr. Newland Shan. The 2 universe mercenaries looked curiously at Newland Shan. Newland Shan, however, took large strides straight towards Luo Feng's direction. The 2 universe mercenaries followed behind. They had a favor to ask of Newland Shan. After all, even amongst the universe-level warriors, there were differences in power. As a universe level 9 with the battle-axe title, Newland Shan's position was naturally very high. Even though the hall was huge, there were still over 10,000 guests. A warrior with a battle-axe badge and 2 one-star mercenary badges on his chest indeed attracted many people's gazes. The 3 swiftly headed towards Luo Feng's direction. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. Instructor. Hurua and Bulemu swiftly stood up. Hong and Thunder God glanced at Newland Shan, curiously saying softly, Luo Feng, that person looks very similar to the Newland Shan family. I'm afraid he doesn't have good intentions. Luo Feng squinted his eyes. After a while, their boots clashed together. The 3 universe-level warriors stood before Luo Feng's table. Greetings to the 2 instructors. Hurua and Bulemu said respectfully. HM. The 2 bald instructors nodded, looking at Newland Shan. Newland Shan stood there, looking down at the seated Luo Feng, saying coldly, You are Luo Feng? Yes. Luo Feng looked at him. That planet is yours? Newland Shan asked his second question, not saying Earth's name. Luo Feng grinned. Right. Sell it to me. Newland Shan's cold eyes stared at Luo Feng. Name your price. Luo Feng shook his head. 10 billion Ganwu dollars? Newland Shan said. No negotiations. Luo Feng didn't hesitate at all. 100 billion Ganwu dollars. Newland Shan said again. I said, no negotiations. No matter what price you name, it won't do. Luo Feng looked at Newland Shan. Beside him, Hong and Thunder God also looked calmly at him. The 2 universe mercenaries beside were shocked. This Newland Shan wanted to buy the planet of the youth in front of them. The price was even more ridiculous. $10 billion Ganwu dollars was enough to buy an extremely high-level life planet, and yet he directly named the astronomical price of 100 billion Ganwu dollars. What kind of planet was worth such a price? Even for Newland Shan, taking out this amount of money would be very taxing. You're provoking me. Newland Shan squinted his eyes like a venomous snake staring at the youth before him. Young man, my temper isn't good, but today I'll give you a chance. Transfer the planet under your name to me, and we'll end all grudges. Give you the planet? Luo Feng smiled. Was that possible? Earth was the home of countless people on Earth. To others, it might have a price, but to the people of Earth, it was priceless. Sorry, I won't be treating you to a drink. Luo Feng raised his cup, raising his head and downing it in one gulp. Newland Shan's expression immediately became even uglier. Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God didn't even look at him. Come, big brother, second brother, let's toast. Luo Feng raised his cup. Come, cheers. Hong laughed. Drink it in one gulp. Thunder God said. The three of them completely treated the battle-axe-titled fighter Newland Shan, who was standing beside them, like air. If it was in reality, if they saw Newland Shan from afar, the three of them would have immediately fled, as far as they could. However, in this virtual universe, who was afraid of who? Chapter 321. Luo Feng and the other two drank like there was no one else around. Newland Shan stood beside with an ugly expression. The other two bald universe mercenaries were equally unhappy, because, in the universe, maintaining respect for the strong was the most basic form of etiquette. From their point of view, the three youths before them were too arrogant and egotistical. This. Herua and Bulemu looked at each other, not daring to make a sound. This wine is really not bad. In reality, the price would be at least 100 times higher, right? Thunder God complimented. And it's very hard to buy. Hong added. The benefits of the virtual universe are many. Luo Feng complimented. Standing beside the table, Newland Shan's eyes twitched a few times. His scorpion-like gaze swept across the three sitting at the table, suddenly shouting. Three punks who don't understand etiquette. Luo Feng and the other two still didn't look at him. I'll let you know, even in the virtual universe, you have to respect the strong. Who? His right leg was like a large blade, slicing through the air, lightning fast as it slashed towards Luo Feng. You dare to attack? Luo Feng roared, his body fiercely leaning backwards, simultaneously using his left arm to block the kick. Pung! Newland Shan's right leg fiercely smashed into Luo Feng's arm. Luo Feng's entire body immediately retreated backwards, staggering a few steps. Simultaneously his eyes gleamed, staring at the wine bottles, plates etc. beside him. The wine bottles and plates immediately floated up and swiftly smashed over. Fight! Thunder God roared. Humph! Hong too rushed forward like lightning. Everyone had a beginner-level warlord-level body constitution. Who was afraid of who? Careful, his explosive strength is even stronger. Luo Feng shouted. He was mentally prepared for Newland Shan's explosive attack before, however that kick's strength still exceeded Luo Feng's expectations. His left arm was in excruciating pain. Fighting with me? Newland Shan's cold leg slashed towards Thunder God, who was the first to rush over. Thunder God's entire waist twisted, dodging the kick like a fried dough twist, his fist drawing an arc, as though it was accelerated by a centrifuge, whistling strangely as it smashed towards Newland Shan. Newland Shan creased his eyebrows, his left leg strangely slashed horizontally, cutting towards Thunder God's waist, creating a shockwave. Humph! Thunder God's body softened, as if it was made of cotton. It actually wrapped itself around Newland Shan's left leg, at the same time preparing to use its binding technique. Soft techniques? Newland Shan's expression changed. Buzz. The muscles on his left leg bulged, and at the same time, he slithered out of the entanglement like a python. Boom! With a terrifying explosive sound, Hong's right leg was like a sharp awl piercing towards Newland Shan's head. Newland Shan laughed savagely. he actually charged forward, just that his body slightly lowered, easily dodging that kick. But Hong's right leg that had been thrusting out had actually fiercely smashed downwards, directly smashing towards Nulan Shan's head. Scram! Nulan Shan shouted, his head actually smashing forward, his neck instantly becoming 2 or 3 times thicker. Boom! Hong's head collided with Hong's right foot, causing him to lose his balance and fly to the side. On the other hand, Thunder God's hands were like a lover's caress, his 10 fingers moving slightly, as if a gust of wind was blowing towards Nulan Shan's flushed red face, but if one looked closely, it would seem that every finger was like a python. Chi! Hong once again rushed forward, his fists were like waves, each punch heavier than the last, extremely peculiar. Break God! Luo Feng, who was standing not too far away, shouted. A thread of spirit energy was like a needle, piercing straight towards Nulan Shan's brain. Scram! Nulan Shan shouted, his eyes glaring, his arms strangely expanding, at the same time bringing with it a peculiar prickling feeling. He smashed apart Thunder God's palms and Hong's fists, simultaneously smashing into the two's chests, causing Hong and Thunder God to spit out blood on the spot and fly backwards. Silence. Within the killing field's spacious hall, many people were looking over. If you break anything, put the money on my tab. Nulan Shan shouted, following which he looked coldly at Luo Feng and the other two. Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God were incomparably shocked. Normally against opponents of the same level, Luo Feng's spirit energy attacks could completely sweep them away. However, as there were no spirit weapons in the hall, Luo Feng could only unleash his spirit attacks. However, this time, it didn't seem to affect Nulan Shan at all. And Hong and Thunder God, before the Great Nirvana period, one was an internal martial arts expert, the other was proficient in yoga and internal martial arts. The two were both experts in close combat, and this time they were actually defeated by one person. One had to know, everyone's body fitness level and spirit reading strength were the same. This was the virtual universe, everyone's body fitness level was exactly the same. Just you want to use spirit attacks against me? Nulan Shan looked at the shocked Luo Feng, laughing coldly. In the Battle Axe Dojo, if one doesn't have a way to deal with spirit attacks, how can one survive, much less win 1,000 battles and obtain the Battle Axe Fighter title? Even though their spirit reading strength was the same, but the strength of their consciousness, as a Battle Axe Universe Level 9 warrior, his consciousness was indeed extremely strong. As for the two of you, Nulan Shan looked at Hong and Thunder God. I admit your close combat techniques aren't weaker than mine, it's a pity, your strength exertion is too weak. My strength exertion is more than twice that of yours. Don't think that just because this is the virtual universe network, you can look down on the universe-level warriors. Even with the same body, the strong can still easily trample on you. Well said. Beside, the universe mercenary Kuan, she shouted. Right. In the virtual universe network, even the weak have to respect the strong. In terms of consciousness, technique, experience, strength exertion, etc., these punks are still too far off. Still arrogant. Beside, there were a few universe-level warriors speaking. Immediately many people looked at Luo Feng and the other two with weird gazes. These 3 punks actually dared to disrespect the universe level? Respecting the strong, this was the universe's most basic etiquette. Serves them right. Serves them right to be trampled on. Many people said amongst themselves. Hong, Luo Feng and Thunder God's expressions were ice cold. Nulan Shan. Luo Feng said coldly, respecting the strong is the most basic etiquette. Before this, I've never offended any of the strong seniors in the Killing Field's Great Hall. However you bastard, because of your greed, my clansmen have died by your hands in the tens of thousands, right? Earth's people had indeed died because of the Nulan Shan family. In the few battles, many had died from the shockwaves. Along with the arrival of the Nulan Shan family, the entire world's headquarters cities were in chaos, many fought and looted, many died in the chaos. You even wanted to forcefully buy my planet earlier? Killing my clansmen, forcefully buying my planet, and you still want me to respect you? Bullshit. Keep dreaming. Luo Feng lowered his head and spat fiercely. Nulan Shan's expression kept changing, however he had no way to refute. What Luo Feng said was indeed true. The surrounding people from the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, who had some background, nodded. So it was like that? No wonder this youth would go against the battle-axe-titled fighter. Oh, no wonder. This youth sure has guts. The surrounding people didn't find it strange. They had enmity with each other. Naturally, there was no need to talk about respect. Nulan Shan looked at Luo Feng, nodding slightly. What a talkative mouth. It's not that I can speak, it's that I'm in the right. Being in the right makes me strong, hence, I naturally won't be afraid of you. I won't lower my head to you. Luo Feng stared at Nulan Shan, laughing coldly. Mr. Nulan Shan, if you weren't greedy, the three of us brothers were drinking here. Why did you have to bully us three juniors? Nulan Shan was furious within, however he didn't know what to say. He clenched his fists tightly. What, you want to fight again? Thunder God cried out weirdly. We can't beat you, a Universe Level 9 senior with the Battle-Axe title. It was rare for Hong to mock someone. Big brother, second brother, let's go. Luo Feng called out. Let's go. Hong said. Let's not waste time talking to these kinds of people. Thunder God agreed. Luo Feng and the other two immediately headed out of the large hall. Nulan Shan's expression was ashen. He was infuriated within, however he was clear that he was indeed eyeing Earth, eyeing its treasures. Since he was greedy, naturally he couldn't say it out loud. What's more, he didn't want to reveal this now, because, the treasures on Earth, he didn't want anyone else to discover them. Luo Feng. Nulan Shan said coldly. Luo Feng turned around, looking at Nulan Shan, smiling. Mr. Nulan Shan, is there anything else? Earlier when I attacked you, were you unhappy? Nulan Shan squinted his eyes. Right, I wasn't happy. Luo Feng laughed coldly. You, a Universe Level 9, experience, strength, consciousness, etc. are all stronger than us. The battle wasn't fair at all, and you want us to be unhappy. I'll give you one chance. Nulan Shan snorted softly. I'll find 3 underlings, the same level as you. They'll each battle with you 3 times. As long as you can win 1 out of the 3 battles. Then this bet will be your win. I'll give you 10 billion Ganwu dollars. If you don't win a single battle, give me your planet. Betting is fine, but the stakes are planets? No way. Luo Feng looked at Nulan Shan. Nulan Shan gritted his teeth in anger. This Luo Feng, wasn't he overestimating Earth too much? Unless Luo Feng didn't know, even with the automaton ship and other treasures, with Luo Feng's background, the moment he took it out, it would be snatched away. Directly exchanging it for 100 billion Ganwu dollars. He's actually not willing, this is 100 billion Ganwu dollars. He really wanted to obtain the legal rights to Earth. If that was the case, even if the treasures on Earth couldn't be excavated, he could still directly auction Earth and sell off all the treasures. With the legal rights, doing many things would be much more convenient. There wouldn't be a need to sneakily send 2 universe levels to infiltrate Earth. This kind of action was called stealing. And what Nulan Shan was most worried about was that Luo Feng had already applied for the rights to Earth from the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. That way, the big families of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire would know how to head to Earth. Nulan Shan was afraid those big families, too, were interested in Earth, sending people through the wormhole to head to Earth. After all, the Nulan Shan family was only the 3rd family of the Kaluo Empire. And the influential big families of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, their founders were usually sector lords. If those families were to interfere, his Nulan Shan family would have no hope at all. P.S. 2 chapters completed. Chapter 322. Within the Great Hall of the Killing Fields, Nulan Shan watched as Luo Feng and the other 2 left, his gaze cold. The two bald universe mercenaries from the North Dragon City organization walked over. One of them, Instructor Quincy, even laughed. Mr. Newland Shan, that Luo Feng and the other two are just three punks, there's no need to be angry at them. If Mr. Newland Shan isn't happy, find a chance and destroy their bodies in reality. Right, Mr. Newland Shan, I think we should enter the battle space first. The other bald universe mercenary urged. Wait a moment. Newland Shan was cold, turning to look at the not-too-distant Bulemu and Heruo. The two of you, come here. Us? The white-skinned, red-haired youth Heruo and the tall and sturdy black man Bulemu looked at each other, their hearts filled with fear. A warrior that even the two instructors had to smile and talk to was looking for the two of them? It was simply too easy to bully the two of them. Heruo felt even more bitter within. Luo Feng, we've been screwed over by you too. Greetings, Lord. Heruo and Bulemu said respectfully. Whatever Mr. Newland Shan asks you, just answer. Instructor Quincy ordered. Yes. The two replied respectfully. Let me ask you. Newland Shan looked at the two. That Luo Feng's virtual universe network number is. Heruo and Bulemu were slightly shocked, hesitating for a moment, looking at the two universe-level instructors and the battle-axe titled warrior. The two lowered their heads and exchanged glances. Finally Heruo said softly, Sir, Luo Feng's virtual universe network number is. Heruo reported a long string of numbers. Okay. After hearing that, Newland Shan turned and left. The two bald universe mercenaries followed behind. Milky Way Earth. The West Lake courtyard had been rebuilt. Luo Feng had even ordered an even higher level D1 grade castle. The entire castle was also the planet's main control center for the planet's defense system. The entire solar system's many little satellites, defense systems were all under this control. Castle, 7th level planet control room. Master. 3 batches of people have entered the wormhole in the virtual zone. The first batch is a D3 spaceship, the second batch is a D1 spaceship, and the third batch is a C8 spaceship. Luo Feng stood within the main control room of the Earth's defense system. Before him was a huge floating screen. On it there were 3 images, each of the 3 universe ships. This scene caused Luo Feng to slightly crease his eyebrows as he pondered. These 3 groups of people should be from 3 different places. According to the grade of the spaceship, we can determine the strength of the spaceship. The first batch has a high chance of being universe-level warriors, the second batch is an elite star-level or universe-level, the third batch has a high chance of being a star-level team. Luo Feng swiftly deduced within, ever since he applied to become Earth's leader. In that case, the way to Earth was to enter through the wormhole and travel for 2 years and 8 months. The Empire would definitely know about this method. Hence, Luo Feng expected that some other powers would send their scouting teams over. Luo Feng, there's a new mail for you in the Virtual Universe Network. Oh, connect to the Virtual Universe Network. Black Dragon Mountain Island, 9-Star Bay had many large luxurious residences, either by the bay or by the protruding hills and mountains, each family built according to their own wishes. Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God bought a plot of land by the bay. Many of the buildings were made of wood. Young Master, this is a beautiful move. Second Young Master, this is the time to kick. Uncle Meng too, when will I be able to enter the intersect? Very quickly, just a little more training and you'll get it. In a 3-story wooden house, 2 black Meng youths were teaching Luo Feng's 2 children, Ping Ping and Little Hai. When Luo Feng suddenly appeared, the 2 children looked over in surprise. Daddy. Luo Ping and Luo Hai, under Luo Feng's instructions, were specially sent into the virtual game. It was a virtual game with supplementary teaching effects, naturally learning in the midst of entertainment. In terms of body strength, exertion techniques, etc., even though they were still children, these 2 children of his were many times stronger than him back when he lived in a cheap rental house, and Luo Feng had long used some nurturing and evolution treasures for the children. This was very common among the big families in the universe. This allowed Luo Hai and Luo Ping to reach the intermediate warrior level at the mere age of 4. On Earth, it was indeed shocking, however in the universe, it was very normal. Who's male? Luo Feng sat on a chair beside, with a thought. A screen appeared before him, swiftly pulling out a mail. HM? It's actually a mail from Newland Shan. Luo Feng was very shocked. This Newland Shan actually knew his virtual universe network number. Maybe Newland Shan knew he wouldn't chat with him, hence he simply sent a mail over. Luo Feng too was interested as he carefully read the mail. It was written very long, explaining in detail the dangers of the universe, reminding Luo Feng of the dangers of the automaton ship. 10 birds in the forest are not worth as much as 1 bird in the hand. The automaton ship was expensive, however, if he didn't have the life to spend it, he might as well exchange for it now. TSK, this Newland Shan is really rich. Luo Feng looked at the mail, Newland Shan's large amount of conditions. This time he didn't want to buy Earth, but to jointly manage Earth with Luo Feng. The two of them were in the form of shares. Luo Feng had the majority, still the leader. Their Newland Shan family had the minority. At the same time, the automaton ship would belong to the Newland Shan family. This way, the Newland Shan family could still do many things. Share form? Jointly manage? They only want the automaton ship? Luo Feng rubbed his chin. Don't exchange. Luo Feng, the UNMO planet ship is already damaged. The conditions to repair it are very harsh. And when your strength is strong enough, you can get your hands on that automaton ship. Then you can do whatever you want. Babata said, the automaton race's technological advancement far exceeds that of human society. Don't ever agree to that, Newland Shan. Earth's treasure, this automaton ship can be said to be your trump card in the future. I understand. Luo Feng nodded, after which he deleted the mail that Newland Shan had arranged for his underlings to carefully write. After a while, Luo Feng, Hurua and Bulemu are requesting a call. Connect. Luo Feng flew into the wooden hut's 3rd floor. A screen appeared before him. On it was the skinny Hurua and the tall and sturdy Bulemu. Luo Feng, I'm very sorry, we've given your virtual universe network number to Newland Shan. We didn't have a choice. However, just a virtual universe network number, it shouldn't affect you too much, right, Luo Feng? Hurua said. Beside him Bulemu also said, we've just received the order to gather. We're about to set off to participate in the Universe Mercenary Trainee exams. See you later. Hope we'll be able to return alive. Hurua revealed a smile. All the best. Luo Feng raised his fist. Come back alive. The matter of revealing my virtual universe network number will be forgotten. Haha. Hurua laughed. Right, Luo Feng, I see that you 3 brothers have always been in the slaughterhouse's slaughter space. If you have the time, go try out the battle space. It's much more interesting than the slaughter space. Battle space? Luo Feng was slightly stunned. Alright, I'll go take a look later. Earth had been managed by Luo Feng to the point that it was impregnable. He even went through the slave market to purchase 29-star level 9 stages, along with the 7-star level 9 stages that were still alive, forming a 36-man elite team. And with the planet's defense system, it could be said that as long as it wasn't a universe level, it would be easy to deal with. Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God were all immersed in their own training. Slaughterhouse. So the battle space is like this. Look at the introduction, compared to the slaughter space, it's quite interesting. Luo Feng and the other 2 stood at the counter of the slaughterhouse's great hall, looking at the video introduction on the screen. The slaughter space was specially made to serve one person. One could set up all sorts of opponents within. It was the best place to train. And the battle space was where true fighters battled against each other. The battle was between 2 true humans, and not virtual, and the consumption within the battle space was only 1/10 of the slaughter space. I'm a star level 1, I can only challenge opponents of the same level for now. Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God sat in a corner of the slaughterhouse's great hall. A screen floated before them. On it were large amounts of opponents' strength introductions. To battle, one had to send out a request, and the opponent had to accept. Haha, 30 big brother. Look, this person actually calls himself the number 1 warrior, yet he's won 21 matches, lost 921. His evaluation is still 1 star. The battle space, one could casually give themselves a name. This was for some famous people and big figures to use to hide their identities and training. These types of consumption places, naturally the customers had their own needs, they had their own ways to accommodate them. I can only challenge people of the same level? Luo Feng's gaze immediately went past the evaluation, none. 5 stars, looking at the evaluation, 6 stars, 7 stars etc. opponents. The entire evaluation system, the highest evaluation was 9 stars, that was definitely an absolute warrior of the same level. This month, I've already reached the 5th level of control of the soaring shuttle. I'll choose a 7-star opponent and try it out. Luo Feng officially sent out a challenge request. This was Luo Feng's first time challenging someone of the same level and level. 1 second, 2 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes. Damn, I challenged a 6-star opponent and he didn't even reply, ignoring me. Thunder God stared. My opponent ignored me too. Luo Feng said helplessly, Big brother, what about you? Big brother? Thunder God looked at Hong. Hong rubbed his nose, saying solemnly, I challenged a star traveler level 9 star, I feel, I should be able to battle him, however. The challenge request was immediately rejected. The system said, as a 9-star warrior, the opponent has the authority to set it, only those at least 7 stars can challenge him. Luo Feng and Thunder God blinked. The 3 brothers. The first time they wanted to spar with someone, they were actually looked down upon. P.S. The first chapter has arrived. Today is Saturday, however Tomato still has chapters. Naturally he didn't dare rest. The first day of the new year. Brothers, vote your monthly votes. Rush to number 1. Chapter 323. Hong, Luo Feng and Thunder God were all very confident, hence they immediately challenged the strong warriors of the same level. That's not weird. Who asked us to be newbies with our ratings of none? Thunder God said helplessly. If we were strong warriors, in order to not waste time, we'd probably choose the higher-rated ones to battle too. Right now, from what I see, we'd better start from scratch and make a name for ourselves. Start from none. Let's rush up the ratings first, then we'll be able to find a strong warrior to spar with. Even though Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God were confident they could sweep away the 1 and 2 stars, they still had to take it one step at a time. Luo Feng, what name did you come up with? Thunder God asked. To hide one's identity within the battle space, one could come up with any name. Madman. Luo Feng said, and you? Martial God. Thunder God said. You're shameless enough. Luo Feng was speechless. Beside him Hong couldn't help but laugh. Luo Feng looked at him. Big brother, what about you? Assassin. Hong said casually. Back then Luo Feng had the nickname of Madman, and Hong was a killer before the Great Nirvana. As for Thunder God, this person used to be a training maniac, a training madman, daring to have the title of War God. That was crazy enough. Then let's begin. Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God lowered their heads, sending out invitations to their opponents. All 3 of them sent out invitations to 1-star opponent. Your challenge pass. Teleport to the battle space. The virtual universe system's notification appeared on Luo Feng's screen. Only then did he let out a sigh of relief. This was his 3rd challenge before he succeeded. He didn't expect the same level 1-star fighters to be so arrogant, disdaining to fight a newbie with a rating of none. The opponent he finally successfully challenged was called Blood Swordsman. Battle space. In an incomparably vast grass field, there was a black metal arena, about 10 kilometers long and 10 kilometers wide. A tall green-skinned man, carrying a long blade on his back, stood in the arena, muttering, "Madman?" This opponent actually called himself Madman. Looks like there's a crazy element in his bones. TSK. Trampling on a crazy person, feels the best. Newbie, let me teach you a good lesson. Nicknamed Blood Swordsman, 12 wins, 3 losses. In the arena, a black-haired young man wearing a black battle suit appeared out of thin air, stepping on the soaring shuttle. The battle suit and the soaring shuttle were both selected from the system. The battlefield dimension and the slaughter dimension allowed players to choose any weapon they wanted. As for the battle armor, they had to choose a battle armor of the same level. "Hello." Luo Feng smiled as he looked at the green-skinned youth. "Very polite. You call me lunatic? Haha, just because you are very polite, I won't trample on you too badly." Blood Swordsman laughed. "Blood Swordsman? You are my first opponent in the battle zone. If you accept my challenge, I will let you die a painless death." Luo Feng smiled, however his eyes were filled with a bloodthirsty madness. Even though he had been massacring in the killing field space, he was able to vent the bloodthirsty urges he had been suppressing for so long. However, venting to his heart's content also caused this bloodlust to seep deeper into his bones. "What an arrogant newbie!" The Blood Swordsman laughed coldly. With a rumble, he rushed towards Luo Feng at 10 times the speed of sound. The high speed caused the air to explode far behind the Blood Swordsman. Luo Feng calmly floated in mid-air. "Go!" Luo Feng extended his hand and gently pointed at the Blood Swordsman. "Xiao!" The 30 golden engravings on the blades swiftly emitted golden threads, forming a golden swordfish. The swordfish was almost alive. With a twist of its tail in mid-air, with a slight movement, it drew a peculiar arc, easily brushing past the origin energy blade that the Blood Swordsman was trying to block, piercing right through his forehead. The Blood Swordsman's body flew a distance due to inertia. Simultaneously, he naturally fell downwards. Finally his body landed on the grass outside the arena. "Xiao!" A golden swordfish swiftly flew back to Luo Feng's feet, merging into the soaring shuttle. Madman's first battle victory. After madly studying the swordfish formation for a month in the slaughter dimension, battling over 10,000 times, I've already reached the 5th level of control of the soaring shuttle. Right now, using the 4th level of control is like using my own arm, nimble. Killing those of the same level, I'll definitely sweep through them. Luo Feng was very confident. This confidence wasn't without reason. Because his consciousness amplification had reached 36. Among the star level 1 spirit readers, to be able to simultaneously control 36 weapons, even in the universe, he would be considered an absolute genius. Luo Feng's consciousness was strong because of the golden horned beast's powerful soul. Such a strong consciousness. And with the UNMO planet's control chapter basic training, this soaring shuttle was created by his teacher, Hu Yenbo. Using the UNMO planet's control methods made him like a fish in water. Not afraid of learning too much, just afraid of learning too much. Luo Feng's mastery of the soaring shuttle was indeed high. Dang! The golden swordfish's tail shook, immediately smashing onto the green blade, causing the spirit weapon to tilt and crash into the black arena, causing a small hole to appear in the arena, with sparks flying everywhere. And the golden swordfish took the opportunity to circle around the black-robed opponent's head, slicing it off. Madman's second battle victory. Poochie! The golden swordfish pierced right through the opponent's chest, exploding in an instant. 30 blades shot out from various parts of the opponent's body, 3 of which shot out from the top of his head. Madman's third battle victory. Woo, I've finally gotten a 1-star rating. Continue. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Thunder God wielded a thunder blade, releasing his domain around him, snakes of electricity circling him. A star level 1 with his own domain? When I first saw the information the system gave me, I couldn't believe it. There really isn't one, come on. Let me see just how strong a domain master is. said a one-eyed tall and skinny man who was rated as a 4-star domain master. He held a saber in his hand. You'll find out soon enough. Thunder God grinned. After killing you, I'll get a 3-star rating. Hong wielded a long black spear, silently standing in the arena. A Star Traveler level 9 domain warrior? Interesting, it's rare to meet one like this, come on. A short and sturdy youth, wielding a blade in each hand, his eyes red with excitement. Meeting a 6-star rated one in the 3rd battle, very good. Hong nodded. Ever since the first 2 battles when he revealed his domain, this line was automatically added to the system's information. He didn't expect that someone with a 6-star rating would take the initiative to challenge him. How could Hong refuse? Naturally, it was a battle. Within the arena, battles were extremely quick. It was very normal to fight hundreds of battles in a day. Of course, after losing a battle, many people would stop and reflect on the battle. Battle, defeat, reflection, comprehension, and battle again. This was a process that many people experienced. However, Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God, when they first started their crazy battles, they didn't lose a single battle. Especially Hong and Thunder God, as they had their own domains, they were challenged by higher-rated fighters. This caused their ratings to rise extremely quickly. After all, defeating a 6-star martial artist of the same level was more effective than defeating 101-star martial artists of the same level. About 3 hours later, within the Great Hall of the Killing Fields, Luo Feng and the other 2 sat together. Second brother, I haven't even fought to my heart's content, and you're already calling me out? Luo Feng looked unhappily at Thunder God. Every battle has to be serious, especially when they're getting stronger and stronger. I'm a little mentally tired, everyone rest. Thunder God smiled. Beside him Hong nodded. I'm not too tired. I haven't felt anything yet. Luo Feng couldn't help but say, how many stars do you guys have? 6 stars. Thunder God said. 7 stars. Hong said. I'm only 3 stars. Luo Feng gritted his teeth. I initiated the battles at the start. After that it was the higher-rated ones who challenged me. Thunder God laughed. Star level 1 domain warriors are very rare, hence many warriors want to spar with me. Me too. Hong said. Luo Feng laughed helplessly, understanding why Hong and Thunder God's ratings rose so high. Even though he killed quickly, most of them were low-rated opponents. Also, he didn't have anything that could attract high-rated opponents to challenge him. I'll drink a drink first, after a while, I'll continue to enter, I won't stop until I reach 6 stars. Luo Feng said, 6 stars, only then could one barely be considered a true warrior of the same level. Even for the same level fighters, in terms of strength exertion, awareness, experience, weapon usage techniques, realms etc., it would result in a huge difference in battle strength. Crazy. Luo Feng was crazy. Battle after battle, causing his battle record to constantly change. 121 wins, 0 losses, 183 wins, 0 losses, 218 wins, 0 losses. This kind of record of not losing at all finally attracted the attention of some high-rated warriors, who began to battle Luo Feng. Because these hundreds of wins and 0 losses, it could very well be the first time a warrior entered the battleground space. There was a good saying, after spending a long time in the battleground space, as long as the battles continued, no one would dare say they could always maintain a perfect victory. The Black Dragon Mountain Island's killing fields, indeed gathered countless elites of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God's rapid rise in the battleground space, gradually attracting the attention of many. In the battleground space, if one spent money, others could watch the battles. Hence the more spectators, the more shocking the fee. Of course, even if it was a star level 1 fighter with a 9-star rating, the fee wouldn't be too shocking, after all it was just a star level 1 fighter. If it was a domain lord or sector lord battle, then there would be more spectators. However, these star-level battles, there would still be a few higher-ups of the organizations watching occasionally, to see if they could recruit people into their own organizations. After all, geniuses had to be recruited early. If they were late, they would be snatched away by other organizations. Nuland Shan, I heard that your 100 Tiger building, isn't it gathering some elite disciples? Look, this young man who just appeared, he's definitely a first-class spirit reader genius. If you miss him, others will snatch him away. First class. Right, this young man's consciousness level is extremely high. A star level 1 with such a high consciousness level, it's simply unbelievable. Also, in terms of controlling spirit weapons, he's extremely high too. Look, in just 2 short days, he's already 822 wins and 1 loss. His rating, he's already 7 stars. Nuland Shan looked at the battle on the screen in front of him. Just as he was about to watch carefully, he noticed a person's face. Luo Feng. Nuland Shan looked. His original anticipation immediately vanished. His heart filled with displeasure. End of 2 chapters. First day of the month. Everyone please don't lose your monthly votes. Tomato number 3 has exploded. These 2 days I'll leave it to everyone, don't let the monthly votes fall apart. Monthly votes I'll spend however much you have. Chapter 324. Nuland Shan's face was cold, looking at the screen in front of him playing the video. He didn't have any good feelings towards Luo Feng. Especially after he had arranged for someone to write a very enticing email and send it over. However, Luo Feng didn't reply at all. This naturally made him furious. Seeing Luo Feng in the limelight, how could he be happy? Watching and watching, Nuland Shan revealed a shocked expression, looking at the big-nosed man sitting beside him. This is the genius you were talking about? In the video, Luo Feng was basically being trampled on. Complete defeat. This is the video of the last match. The big-nosed man introduced. This youth called Madman, after losing this match, he hasn't fought again. The video of the last match? Nuland Shan's lips curled upwards, looking at the scene of Luo Feng being trampled on, his smile grew. Within the arena, it was completely empty. Luo Feng sat alone on the black arena, the soaring shuttle too fell beside him. How could it be like this? Couldn't even withstand a single blow. Completely couldn't withstand a single blow. She's just a fighter, not a spirit reader. A star level 1 fighter, with only a 6-star rating, actually. My soaring shuttle actually couldn't resist her at all? Luo Feng's eyes were filled with pain, the scene before was like a nightmare. 822 wins. 1 loss. 822 consecutive wins. What kind of glory was that? What kind of spirit was that? Luo Feng had thought that he was an absolute genius amongst the star level 1 fighters, that not many could beat him. However, just now, meeting that dual-blade wielding female fighter, he was basically being trampled on. This female fighter even gave him chances time and time again. Every time she could kill him, she let him go, consecutively letting him go at crucial moments 9 times, the last one slashing across his forehead. Death. In just 1 short battle, the opponent threw the fight 9 times in a row. Clearly, this female fighter was just playing. Her strength far exceeds Luo Feng's. Like an adult toying with a child, she threw the fight 9 times and killed Luo Feng on the last attack. I'm actually this weak? Am I that weak? Luo Feng gritted his teeth in pain. At this time, there were many challenge requests sent to Luo Feng, however he didn't even have the mood to fight anymore. His mind was filled with the scene from before. No matter how strong his swordfish formation was, under that female fighter's incomparably firm and sharp blade, it was slashed to the side. Left and right blades, flawless. How could he lose so badly? She was at the same level, and she was a martial artist. I can't believe. Luo Feng could accept defeat, but he couldn't accept such a crushing defeat. This crushing defeat told Luo Feng one thing. Just on this Black Dragon Mountain Island, there are many people stronger than him at the same level. Otherwise, how could someone of the same level trample on him so easily? In another battleground dimension, Thunder God was fighting a female martial artist dressed entirely in white. Thunder God's previous battle record was also very impressive. 691 wins, 3 losses, and his evaluation was 8 stars. Although he had failed 3 times, Thunder God did not care. After all, there were always winners and losers in a decisive battle. Most of the people who came to this battle were here to achieve a breakthrough. Failure was much more beneficial to a breakthrough than success. And because he had a domain, Thunder God's opponents were mostly 7, 8, or even 9 stars. Losing 3 battles was very normal. Break, 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 break! Thunder God was in a state of madness, completely enveloped within the domain. The genetic energy blade in his hand became bolts of lightning. Dang, 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 dang. A series of clashing sounds. The female warrior was dressed in white, looking clean and refreshing. Her face was expressionless, and her eyes were cold. She held a sharp saber in her left and right hands. The 2 sabers floated in the air and unexpectedly blocked Thunder God's rapid slashes. However, in this incomparably fast battle, the white-clothed female warrior's saber strangely passed through Thunder God's saber phantoms and swept past Thunder God's neck. His head flew into the air. Thunder God, defeated. Hong, dressed in a black battle uniform, wielding a silver long spear, his eyes gleaming as he looked at the opponent in front of him. Haha, satisfying, satisfying. I've fought 695 battles in a row. Compared to you, the other opponents are not even worth mentioning. I'm not worthy of being called an elite. Hong's words were automatically translated by the virtual assistant into the universe language. Opposite him stood a skinny man in a white robe. The man held a longsword in his hand and looked at Hong. I didn't expect to meet an opponent like you in the slaughterhouse battleground dimension. Again, the man said in a low voice. Xiao. His body charged forward like lightning, directly closing in on Hong. At the same time, the long sword in his hand seemed to have a mind of its own as it drew a strange arc, as though preparing to attack various parts of Hong's body. Ha 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 ha! Hong laughed heartily. The tip of the spear in his hand curled, as though it was creating a million waves, directly engulfing the opponent. At the same time, the concept of the spear merged into the dark domain, like a terrifying whirlpool in the darkness, directly swallowing the white-robed youth swordsman. The white-robed youth swordsman's long sword was incomparably clean, piercing into every part of the whirlpool. At the same time the lightning domain around him expanded. Rumble! The 2 clashed and separated, and then clashed again at lightning speed. Intense. Hong had fought 695 battles in a row before, and every one of them had been won easily. But this time, he had suddenly met a terrifying opponent. The 2 of them fought over 1,000 rounds. Obviously Hong's domain was stronger than his opponent's, but the opponent's incomparably accurate, fast and strange sword techniques were indeed extremely strong, causing the 2 of them to be evenly matched. After fighting for so long, neither of them made a single mistake. Rumble! The 2 of them stood separately on the arena, facing each other. Killer, you've won my respect. Let's call this a draw. The white-robed youth swordsman said. You've also won my respect. Hong's eyes were like stars as he stared at his opponent. I've trained hard in the killing field for a month, and my spear domain has improved again. Until now I've never used this move. Now I'll use this move as a sign of respect to you. Hong's words were translated by the virtual assistant into an electronic voice. What? The white-robed youth swordsman's expression changed. This move, I call it This Hatred Never Ends. After Hong finished speaking, the long spear in his hand trembled, and instantly, the long spear was like a huge dragon that fiercely shot out, bringing with it a whirlpool concept, causing the surrounding dark domain to become even denser, creating an unceasing tornado-like shockwave, with the tip of the spear as the tip. The white-robed youth swordsman's eyes narrowed, and the long sword in his hand stabbed out like lightning. Pooh! 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 Every sword strike was strangely just a hair's breadth away, brushing against the edge of the spear tip. The spear tip was incomparably strange and slippery, the entire air seemed to be affected by it, unable to block it at all. And even if the white-robed youth wanted to escape, he was enveloped by the domain, and his speed was inferior. He couldn't block it either. Pooh-chee! The strange and terrifying spear tip pierced straight through the white-robed youth's forehead, coming out from the back of his head. This battle killer, Hong, victory! Killing Field's Great Hall. The blood-red ceiling of the Great Hall, black tables, ice-cold chairs. Luo Feng and Thunder God sat there, their moods extremely bad. I didn't expect you to meet her too. Luo Feng laughed bitterly. What, you met her too? Thunder God was shocked. Luo Feng nodded. That female fighter really. I'm not her match at all. She was completely toying with me, ravaging me. Her body quality is only at the star level 1, the same level as me, but she's actually so much stronger than me. My soaring shuttle, compared to her, is just a joke. Me too, I feel that she should have a domain, but she didn't even use it, and already injured me 9 times, killing me on the last one. Two. Thunder God laughed bitterly. On Earth. The two of them, one was a peerless genius, the other stood at the pinnacle of Earth, the founder of the Thunder Dojo. Who would have thought that one day there would be someone of the same level as them, who could ravage and toy with them? Second brother, third brother, why did you call for me? A black-clothed Hong smiled, walking over in high spirits. Why does it seem like you two aren't in a good mood? We lost. Luo Feng shook his head. We lost very badly. Thunder God's expression was ugly too. Losing is a good thing. Hong sat on a chair beside, saying, only by losing can one discover one's weakness, only then can one improve. But we lost too badly. Luo Feng glanced at Hong. Big brother, you seem to be in a good mood. Haha, I met an opponent, a very strong one. Hong laughed as he glanced at Luo Feng and Thunder God. If the two of you were at the Star Traveler level 9, you probably wouldn't be his match. Extremely powerful. If it wasn't for this month of training in the killing fields space, I wouldn't have been able to beat him this time. It's really satisfying to meet such an opponent. The killing fields, other than the lower cost, larger halls with higher human traffic. There were also some meditation rooms that had a high degree of privacy. Within one of the meditation rooms, a tall and sturdy man, his entire body green and black, sat on a sofa, looking at the screen before him. On the screen were 3 videos simultaneously: Luo Feng against the female fighter, Thunder God against the female fighter, Hong against the white-robed youth. The sturdy man's eyes lit up like never before. He stared hard at the third video. Hong against the white-robed youth. He's actually a level 3 domain? That last spear, the domain he unleashed, is definitely a level 3 domain. A Star Traveler level 9 punk, actually reaching a level 3 domain. The tall and sturdy man was incomparably excited. Suddenly, pa, a knocking sound resounded. Enter, the tall and sturdy man said. The door opened. A white-robed female fighter with a serious expression and a white-robed skinny youth swordsman walked in, closing the door, after which the white-robed female fighter bowed respectfully. Lord, mission complete. Very good, you can all leave the virtual universe and return. I've already sent the contribution point. The tall and sturdy man said. Yes. The white-robed female fighter and the white-robed youth became nothing. Obviously their consciousnesses had left the virtual universe and returned to reality. P.S. Monthly votes. Give it your all. Right now the monthly votes have fallen too much. Brothers rise. Chapter 325. Killing Field's Great Hall. Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God sat there discussing the 3 battles from before. It had to be said, the battle with the female fighter was indeed a huge blow to Luo Feng. He wasn't afraid of losing, the scary thing was losing so badly. This meant he, Luo Feng, was still far from the pinnacle of the same level. There were definitely many stronger than him. Luo Feng saw a Killing Fields worker walking over from the corner of his eyes. Ah! Thunder God too looked around, there were only the three of them. He seems to be looking for us, Hong said softly. The Killing Fields worker was a skinny man with a sharp nose. He smiled and said, "Sirs, upstairs there's a meditation room owner, please enter." Meditation room owner? Luo Feng was shocked, exchanging glances with Hong and Thunder God beside. The Great Hall was where many elites that had been specially nurtured rested and chatted. And the meditation room was an extremely private room. Many warriors would specially rent a meditation room for a long period of time, and the owners were usually at least universe levels. Unless it was a rare few with too much money. Lead the way. Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God stood up. All right. The worker led the way, very quickly following the spiral staircase. They arrived at the second level. The first level was an incomparably spacious great hall. The second level was a quiet and beautiful maze. Within the maze were many meditation rooms, many universe-level warriors, even domain lords and even sector lords high above, were all within. In the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, sector lords were the pinnacle of power. However, normally sector lords were active in the virtual universe Ganwu continent, and not in the Black Dragon Mountain Islands. After all, there were too few sector lords in the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. To be able to frequently meet in the virtual universe was even rarer. Naturally, they were willing to go to the Ganwu continent. Over there, the strong were as numerous as the cloud. This is the room. The worker smiled as he stood in front of the door, gently knocking. Enter. A thick voice resounded. The door opened. The worker bowed respectfully. Sir, I've brought the 3 guests. After which the worker left. Luo Feng and his 2 brothers carefully looked at the meditation room where an incomparably tall and sturdy man had already stood up. His entire body was green and black, almost like he was made of steel. The 3 of you please come in, the burly man said. Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God weren't afraid, immediately entering the meditation room. After entering the meditation room, the entire room seemed to light up. Luo Feng looked at the tall and sturdy man before him and was suddenly shocked. This tall and sturdy man was wearing a battle robe on his left chest, and on it was a medal. The picture on the medal was 2 planets floating above a sea of blood. Universe 2-star mercenary. 2-star? Oh my god! Luo Feng was completely shocked. To participate in the Universe 2-star mercenary exam, one of the requirements was to reach the Domain Lord level. Hence, among the Universe 2-star mercenaries, the lowest was a Domain Lord or even a Sector Lord. An Area Lord. What sort of concept was that? For example, the Silver Blue Empire, the Kaluo Empire, and other low-level empires in the universe did not dare to provoke a Domain Lord. They were experts who could carve out an area and be the master of it, and they could even receive the recognition of the universe. If one were to say that the universe-level warriors could destroy Earth, they would need to attack it time and time again. In that case, a domain master would only need to strike the ocean with a single punch, causing a great flood, to drown the entire Earth, and cause a great extinction. This was a domain lord. An absolute existence that could make the low-level empires in the universe tremble. Back then, the Master of Dragonstar was only a domain lord, and the one before them was even stronger than a normal domain lord. Greetings, Lord. Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God exchanged glances and said respectfully at the same time. Respect for the strong, this was an accepted etiquette in the universe. I've been observing you for over a month. The tall and sturdy man looked at Luo Feng and the other 2, revealing a smile. Ever since you entered the Killing Fields, you've been training here every day, not stopping for a single day, am I right? Luo Feng was shocked. He was at least a domain lord, observing the 3 of them for over a month? Luo Feng turned to look at Hong and Thunder God, they too were in shock. However, I don't understand why you've been staying in the killing fields. Occasionally being in the killing fields is fine, but staying there for long periods of time, that's just a waste of time. The tall and sturdy man looked suspiciously at Luo Feng and the other two. Waste of time. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. What do you mean? Thunder God creased his eyebrows too. Hong looked silently at the man. Didn't your teachers tell you that the fastest way to evolve, the fastest way to improve, is to train in life and death situations? The tall and sturdy man asked curiously. This I understand, Thunder God said. Hong and Thunder God naturally understood. Earth's fastest generation of warriors was during the Grand Nirvana era, and during the Muya Crystal era. Back during the Grand Nirvana era, within a few short years, humanity went from being weak and small to instantly producing large amounts of warriors, even to the Star Traveler level. And after a few decades, the Muya Crystal was discovered, producing a new batch of warriors. If you understand, why do you still stay in the killing fields? The tall and sturdy man asked. This is also a life and death battle, it's also incomparably difficult and dangerous. Thunder God said. Wrong, you're ridiculously wrong. The tall and sturdy man laughed, shaking his head. Looks like you don't have a teacher, or in other words, your teacher's standard is very low. Luo Feng and the other two listened carefully. For a domain lord to be able to speak to the three of them, it was their luck. Do you know why life and death battles allow one's power to rise so quickly? Comprehension fast? Evolution fast? Do you know the theory? The tall and sturdy man looked at the three. Luo Feng and the other two shook their heads. They really didn't understand the theory. The tall and sturdy man exclaimed, Between life and death there's great terror. Between life and death, there's limitless motivation. Just like facing a needle piercing your eye, you can't help but close your eyes, it's a conditioned reflex. Against a life and death situation, every cell in the body will struggle like a conditioned reflex, even the genetic material will accelerate and evolve. The terror between life and death will cause the body and even the soul to reach a pinnacle of evolution that humans can't achieve. In such a state, it's easier for a person to comprehend, evolve, and raise their power. Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God all held their breath. This is a conditioned reflex, or it could be called a life reflex. Against death, life will emit the deepest and most intense struggle. People train hard for decades and are unable to break through. Maybe a life and death situation will allow them to break through. The tall and sturdy man looked at Luo Feng and the other two. Between life and death, there's great terror, there's limitless power. This is why countless warriors risk their lives and enter life and death battles. Luo Feng muttered within, Between life and death, there's great terror, there's limitless power? Hong and Thunder God too were deep in thought. Warriors. The warriors I'm talking about are universe levels, domain lords, sector lords, and even the legendary Undying. The tall and sturdy man emphasized, over 99% of them join the Universe Mercenary Alliance and go through life and death battles. The Battle Axe Coliseum, an incomparably cruel coliseum, every life and death battle, there's bound to be one side dying. Such a coliseum, yet it's so popular, is because, on the edge of life and death battles, it's the fastest way to evolve. The strong warriors in the universe, how many haven't walked through life and death battles? The tall and sturdy man looked at Luo Feng and the other two. That's why, I'm curious why the three of you keep wasting time in the killing fields. Occasionally during these few days, it's considered training. However, the battles in the killing fields are training, there are teachers etc. Yet they're unable to achieve the results of life and death battles. Because, the killing fields and battlefields, even if you die you can instantly revive. This is the virtual universe, there's no way for your life to feel the danger of death, naturally there's no way to evolve. Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God completely understood. Why was it that after so many days, experiencing so many bloody battles, especially in the killing fields, the three of them had set up many strong warriors, causing them to be incomparably excited to kill? However, the three's body evolution rate was still the same as before. Hong was still a star traveler level 9, Luo Feng and Thunder God's bodies still hadn't improved. Maybe their techniques and experience had improved, but their bodies' foundations hadn't improved much. Right, there's no threat of death in the virtual universe, one doesn't feel any danger. After all, it's a virtual world, death can instantly revive. Of course there's no true fear, panic, fear, rage, etc. Luo Feng thought, simultaneously shouting within, Babata? What are you shouting for? Within his consciousness, Babata said softly. Why didn't you tell me all this? Staying in the killing fields for long is a waste of time. Luo Feng raged. You can't blame me. You already have the golden horned beast's body, hence you don't have any bottlenecks at all. You can constantly improve until you reach the pinnacle of sector lords. Why go risk your life and death? Even though the evolution rate is faster, the death rate is very high. When your strength is higher, it's not too late to go. I'm fine, but what about Big Brother and Second Brother? Luo Feng asked. Them? Oh, without any life and death threats, the star level is already the peak. Babata said. The peak? Why didn't you say so earlier? Only then did Luo Feng understand. Staying in the killing fields was a waste of Hong and Thunder God's time. The mission the Master gave me was to nurture you, and not to nurture Hong and Thunder God. When your strength is higher, you can go risk your life and death, I'll remind you then. Anyway, Hong and Thunder God won't lose much. The nurturing plan, everything will be based on you. Babata said it very clearly this time. When Luo Feng was feeling guilty towards Hong and Thunder God. Life and death adventure? Hong and Thunder God's eyes gleamed. No wonder I haven't been able to break through and reach the star level. Hong said softly, life and death adventure, yes, that's the life that suits me. I've always felt that the peaceful days have no passion, my body feels weak, so that's why. Thunder God's eyes gleamed too. Third brother, are you prepared to go risk your life together? Thunder God looked at Luo Feng. At this time, the tall and sturdy man standing beside smiled. Life and death adventure, this is a journey that every strong warrior has to experience. Breaking through life and death barriers time and time again, surpassing yourself time and time again, this is the path of a strong warrior. However, before this, I have to remind you all of one thing, the importance of the body's foundation. Different bloodlines have different evolution rates. Some people evolve easily in life and death situations. Some people in life and death situations, the difficulty of evolution is much higher than others. Some races, when they mature, can reach the star level, even the universe level, even the domain lord. This is the bloodline. Look, this is the list. It divides the human bloodline into 10 levels. You all first take a look, which level your bloodline is roughly at. Maybe I can help you all on your path of evolution, take fewer detours. The tall and sturdy man smiled and said, pointing to the screen, a list appeared on the screen. Monthly votes, dropping to such a level, I'm speechless. Monthly votes, just where are they? Does anyone still have them? Really, everyone, please vote for Tomato. Tomorrow, 3rd, I will work hard. Chapter 326. Luo Feng turned to look. Hong and Thunder God too were staring intently. The human race in the universe is incomparably huge, with tens of millions of races. They can be roughly split into these 10 classes. The tall and sturdy man pointed at the screen and smiled. Luo Feng looked carefully, the list was extremely clear. First rank human bloodline. Reaching the region lord at adulthood was the first rank. Human bloodline 2nd grade. Reaching the universe level at adulthood, 2nd grade. The 3rd and 4th grades were all stellar level at adulthood. The 5th and 6th grades were all planetary states at adulthood. The 7th and 8th grades would be apprentices at adulthood. The The 9th and 10th grades were all mediocre at adulthood. However, based on cultivation talent and other factors, the probability of a race producing a powerful expert was divided into the 9th and 10th grades. "What is your race's bloodline?" the burly man asked. Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God exchanged glances. According to the description on the list, the bloodline of the Earth's humans was considered the 9th level. After all, the majority of the Earth's humans who had reached adulthood didn't make the cut. However, according to Luo Feng's plan, with large amounts of purple light drink, he believed that in 100 years, the humans of Earth would be able to reach the 8th grade bloodline. 9th grade. Luo Feng looked at the tall and sturdy man. 9th grade. The tall and sturdy man looked shocked at Luo Feng, before looking at Hong and Thunder God in disbelief. "Yes, level 9, Hong said. "So what if I'm in the 9th rank? We can still break through by ourselves," Thunder God said. The tall and sturdy man laughed. His laughter was deep and hearty, continuous. "That's not what I meant, I'm just very surprised. A 9th grade bloodline race, actually able to produce 2-star level 1 warriors, and a star traveler level 9, this is rare, really rare." A 9th grade bloodline meant that one's foundation was low, and it would be very difficult for one to achieve great things. "I admire you very much," the burly man said. "And congratulations." "Congratulations?" Luo Feng and the other two were curious. "Yes, your race's bloodline is relatively low, which makes it very difficult for you to break through and evolve. It's much more difficult than breaking through with high-grade bloodlines. But at the same time, if you use the evolution catalyst to improve your bloodline, it will be easier to improve your own bloodline," the burly man said. "Evolution catalyst? Bloodline evolution catalyst?" A shocked cry resounded within Luo Feng's consciousness. "Babata, why are you so shocked?" Luo Feng communicated mentally. "Luo Feng, the person talking to you is definitely from a superpower. The bloodline evolution catalyst was definitely a restricted product in the universe. If one didn't have a certain status, they wouldn't even have a channel to purchase it. Only by spending thousands of times more money can you buy a bloodline evolution catalyst." Babata said, "Think of a way to get the bloodline evolution catalyst from him. That's definitely a top-notch item." "Evolution catalyst? What does it do?" Hong asked. "Isn't our cultivation for the sake of evolution?" Thunder God looked at the burly man in front of him, puzzled. The burly man smiled. "Let me put it this way. The process of ordinary human cultivation is like building a house. Bloodline was the foundation of a house. A poor bloodline represented a poor foundation. When people with poor bloodlines cultivate, they are constantly building tall buildings on top of their poor foundations. As the buildings get taller and taller, they naturally have to strengthen their foundations again and again to make the buildings taller and taller. But the higher the building, the more troublesome it is to strengthen the foundation. And for those with strong bloodlines, it means their foundations are very good. They can easily build up to a 100-story building and directly become a domain lord. There won't even be any obstacles. The bloodline evolution catalyst. Its use is to change your bloodlines. It's equivalent to changing your foundations in one go. From a poor foundation, it'll instantly become an intermediate foundation. This will make your building process much easier in the future. Do you understand?" The burly man smiled. Luo Feng, Thunder God and Hong all understood. The bloodline evolution catalyst is unable to directly increase one's strength. However, it can make your future training much faster and easier. The burly man smiled. Of course, this bloodline evolution catalyst isn't sold in any of the shops or other places. As the cost of creating the bloodline evolution catalyst is very high, and there aren't many of them, naturally they won't be sold. Unless someone offers a shocking price, only then will they sell a portion. Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God weren't idiot. An absolute warrior that was at least a domain lord had told them so much and even mentioned the bloodline evolution catalyst. Do you know who developed the bloodline evolution catalyst? The burly man asked. No idea. Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God shook their heads. Virtual Universe Company. The burly man said directly, in the human world of the universe, the Virtual Universe Company with the strongest technology. This bloodline evolution catalyst was developed by them. Virtual Universe Company? Luo Feng understood. The Virtual Universe Company's network, it allowed anyone in the infinite universe to instantly enter the network and communicate with friends. What kind of technology was that? And the most shocking thing was, the Virtual Universe Network, not only did it exist in the actual universe, it also existed in the dark universe. It was even more shocking. The network, constantly traversing through the universe. What kind of technology was that? It was incomprehensible, profound and unfathomable. Haha, I haven't introduced myself yet. The burly man smiled. I'm the Virtual Universe Company, stationed in the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's Black Dragon Mountain Department, an external manager Mingyu. You can call me Mr. Mingyu or Lord Mingyu. Lord Mingyu. Luo Feng and the other two bowed. Luo Feng, however, was shocked within. My God, Babata was right, this burly man indeed had a huge power backing him. The Virtual Universe Company, this was one of the 5 great leviathans of the human world, much stronger than the Ganwu Universe Country. Even the UNMO Planet Master, before the Virtual Universe Company, was just an ant. After all, even the UNMO Planet Master didn't dare mess with the Ganwu Universe Country. And the Virtual Universe Company was spread across large amounts of universe countries. What kind of power was that? A department in the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, sending out an external manager, was at least a domain lord being. Powerful. It made one's heart tremble. So Lord Mingyu is from the Virtual Universe Company. Thunder God praised. The tall and sturdy Mingyu smiled. He too felt proud of this. Originally, the troops of the 5 great leviathans would naturally have a sense of superiority. This bloodline evolution catalyst was created by our Virtual Universe Company. The tall and sturdy Mingyu smiled. However, the bloodline evolution catalyst is a restricted item. Very little of it circulates outside. Even if one has the ability to buy it outside, the price would be terrifyingly high. However, if one were to join our Virtual Universe Company, to the internal members, especially the absolute elites, we can even provide them for free. Free! Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God were stunned. Rich and overbearing, this Virtual Universe Company was indeed rich and overbearing. Right, in terms of wealth, who could compare to the Virtual Universe Company? For example, in the slaughterhouse's slaughter space, a Sector Lord Level 1 Spirit Reader would spend 3.5 billion Ganwu dollars a day. Just how shocking was the wealth of the Virtual Universe Company? They didn't even dare to think about it. The UNMO Planet Master probably couldn't even compare to a strand of hair on their thighs. Yes, free. The tall and sturdy Mingyu looked at Luo Feng and the other two, his eyes gleaming. Our Virtual Universe Company has been searching for geniuses and elites from the many universe countries, and the 3 of you can be considered geniuses. Your consciousness strength is really very strong, star level 1, your consciousness amplitude has exceeded 36? Luo Feng blushed with shame. His consciousness strength was strong because of the golden horned beast. You two are not bad, star level 1 with a domain. The tall and sturdy Mingyu looked at Thunder God. The 2 of you can be considered level 3 elites. The tall and sturdy man finally looked at Hong, his eyes gleaming. Of course the most powerful is you, a star traveler level 9, not only with a domain, you've reached level 3. To your comprehension, it's simply too shocking. You can be considered a level 1 elite, you can be considered a seed elite. Luo Feng was speechless. Relying on the golden horned beast's powerful consciousness strength, He was actually only considered a level 3 elite. Before, I've arranged for 2 people to battle with you. The tall and sturdy man pointed at the screen. On it appeared 3 videos, one of the white-robed female fighter and the white-robed youth. Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God weren't surprised at all. They had guessed that the 2 powerful people that suddenly appeared were arranged by the person before them. She belongs to our virtual universe company's special elite. And he is a level 2 elite. The tall and sturdy man explained. Special elite? Luo Feng and Thunder God stared at the white-robed female fighter in the video. Even the Star Traveler level 9, with a level 3 domain, Hong was only judged as a level 1 elite. And this female fighter before them was actually judged as a special elite. No wonder when this female fighter fought with Thunder God and himself, it was as easy as playing. The universe is vast. There are countless countries like the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Geniuses, of course there are even more. Our company nurtures seedlings. They are divided into special, level 1, level 2 and level 3. These 4 levels are just the divisions of our Black Dragon Mountain department. If it were the main company, the divisions would be even stricter. The tall and sturdy Mingyu said. These words made Luo Feng and Thunder God completely stunned. In the Black Dragon Mountain department, the 2 of them were considered the bottom? Don't be discouraged. To be judged as a genius by our company, even the lowest level 3 elite. Amongst the fighters and spirit readers, they're top-notch. The tall and sturdy Mingyu consoled them. As long as you're willing to join the Black Dragon Mountain department, oh right, I still don't know your names. Luo Feng, Hong, Thunder God. Luo Feng and the other 2 didn't hesitate. These 3 names weren't taboo. To a huge entity like the Virtual Universe Company, they probably already had their names and information. Luo Feng and Thunder God, the moment you 2 join, you'll get a Bloodline Evolution Catalyst for free, and Hong, he'll get an S-type Bloodline Evolution Catalyst. The tall and sturdy Mingyu looked at the 3. Are you willing to join our Virtual Universe Company? P.S. Chapter 1 has arrived. After a long ride home, they hadn't eaten dinner yet. However, Tomato was finally free. He would work hard to write. This was the first chapter. Today's goal was to write 4 brothers' monthly votes. Chapter 327. Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God exchanged glances. Lord Mingyu, I have a question. Hong looked at the tall and sturdy man before him. If we join the Virtual Universe Company, what do we need to do? What are our duties? In the beginning, you were weak, and the company was nurturing you. Therefore, the management was very strict. You must obey the company's orders, go through training, go through life and death trials, etc. However, as your strength increases, your freedom and authority will continue to expand. Universe level, domain lord, sector lord, the stronger you are, the more freedom you have. You only need to do some things at the crucial moment. Mingyu said directly. Luo Feng and the other 2 hesitated. Strictly monitored? Hong and Thunder God were the founders of martial arts dojos. How could they endure the strict management of others? If they are weak, can't they move freely during the period of nurturing? Hong asked. Luo Feng and Thunder God looked at the tall and sturdy man before them. There's a holiday, a prescribed holiday. The burly man said solemnly. The period of nurturing those who are weak is very strict. You must understand this. Vacation? With the Virtual Universe Network, we can meet and chat with family and friends. Actually, holidays don't have much meaning. Hong, Thunder God and Luo Feng all shook their heads. Unacceptable. Training period? Maybe the entire star level in the Virtual Universe Company was designated as a nurturing period. Over 100 years or even longer, it was strictly managed. Luo Feng and the other 2 couldn't accept it. Mingyu frowned slightly and sighed in his heart. He couldn't stand the strict management. He had encountered such situations many times. As an external manager, he often invited geniuses to join his Virtual Universe Company. However, since they were geniuses, there were powers that tried to rope them in. Most of these geniuses were arrogant and unruly. How could they be willing to be under strict management for a long period of time? Thus, there were many who refused. But the important members of the Virtual Universe Company had to go through strict management, brainwashing, etc. We cannot accept it, Hong said. Oh, of course. Mingyu smiled. What I said earlier was internal members. Our Virtual Universe Company is split into internal and external members. Internal members have many benefits, and the management is stricter. As for the external members, they had more freedom, but the benefits were much less. They are far inferior to the internal members. For example, I am an external deacon. Mingyu laughed. If you guys become external members, although you won't be able to obtain the evolution catalyst for free, you can still purchase the evolution catalyst. If you buy the first set, you can enjoy the low price. The price for a second set is higher. An ordinary external member can only buy 3 sets at most. How much? Luo Feng asked. Bloodline Evolution Catalyst, buying the first portion, price is 100 million Ganwu dollars. If it's the second one, it would cost a high price of 1 billion Ganwu dollars. Mingyu said, Bloodline evolution catalysts are very rare in the outside world. Only those with heaven-defying methods would be able to get their hands on them. The price is also very exaggerated. At the same time, the Virtual Universe Company strictly forbids you from selling the evolution catalysts. If you are discovered to be secretly selling them, die. Mingyu said casually. Luo Feng immediately gave up on selling it. These are some of the rules for becoming an external member of our virtual company. Take a look and see if you can accept them. The tall and sturdy man, Mingyu, pointed at the screen. Immediately, a large number of rules appeared on the screen. 5 minutes later. Welcome to the Virtual Universe Company. Right now you are all external members of our Virtual Universe Company, Black Dragon Mountain Department, temporarily under my control. If there's anything you can send me a message. The tall and sturdy Mingyu smiled. Yes, Lord Mingyu. Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God bowed slightly. After leaving the slaughterhouse, Zhang Xian returned to his residence, 9-Star Bay on the Black Dragon Mountain Island. External members really have a lot of freedom. They actually allow us to join normal organizations, even allowing us to join the Ganwu Dojo. That's unbelievable. Thunder God walked along the cobblestone path of the lake, exclaiming in shock, they only forbid us from joining the Battleaxe Dojo and other powers from other universe countries. The Virtual Universe Company's warrior department was split into internal and external. The internal was the most loyal, and also the most important part of the Virtual Universe Company. They were absolutely forbidden from joining other powers. The external was much more relaxed. For example, a sector lord of the Ganwu Dojo, upon receiving an invitation, could join the Virtual Universe Company's external department. Usually when there were important battles or matters, they could let the external members fight for them. Usually, there weren't many restrictions on the external members, as long as they didn't join other superpowers of the same level. The Virtual Universe Company doesn't even put the Ganwu Dojo in their eyes. Luo Feng smiled. Haha, joining the Virtual Universe Company, Luo Feng, I originally wanted you to borrow the Ganwu Dojo's power. However, if you can have a high enough position in the Virtual Universe Company's external department, that's still impressive. That's still incredible. Babata was very excited. Big brother, second brother, do you have enough money to buy the evolution catalysts? Luo Feng asked. Enough. We still have enough. Hong and Thunder God said. Luo Feng felt helpless within. The main thing was that his funds were indeed tight. Because of the large amounts of metals that were 89 times faster, madly swallowing them to evolve his internal world, he believed he would be able to break through to the universe level in less than a year's time. The universe level golden horned beast required 100 or even 1,000 times more expensive. His own money, calculating, he didn't have enough. Back then, that teacher of mine probably didn't expect his disciple to have a golden-horned beast body. The golden-horned beast. It really is a gold-consuming cave. Luo Feng thought within. Third brother, after discussing with the external department, I've decided to prepare to go to the Universe Mercenary Alliance to sign up. Hong's eyes gleamed. Even though I'm still unable to take the trainee exam, however, I can't hold it in any longer. Me too. Thunder God licked his lips, his eyes gleaming with a wild glint, dancing on the edge of life and death. Only these days are exciting. You all. Luo Feng was stunned. Third brother, are you coming or not? Hong asked. Shall we go together? Thunder God looked at Luo Feng. Among the fighters of Earth, how many of them were cowards? Go, of course we'll go together. Luo Feng said. Ha ha. Thunder God laughed loudly. Brother. Hong patted Luo Feng's shoulder. Luo Feng looked at his two big brothers whose hearts were already burning with passion, thinking within, adventure? Yes, I too want to adventure. The feeling of dancing on the edge of a blade is indeed wonderful. Back then in the wilderness, battling with the monsters to the death, that kind of feeling made one's heart skip a beat. If big brother and second brother really meet with danger he can't defend against, I can also release the golden-horned beast body and save them. Luo Feng thought. The existence of the golden-horned beast had to be kept a secret. However, if he met with danger he couldn't defend against, he would definitely release the golden-horned beast. Killing Field's Great Hall. An incredibly old green-skinned old man sat in the corner of the Great Hall, holding a cup of water. That wrinkled forehead was raised, his muddy eyes occasionally looking around. He was the person in charge of the Black Dragon Mountain Island's killing fields. Man Luo, a rather famous old man here. At this time, the tall and sturdy Mingyu swiftly walked over, immediately arriving before the green-skinned old man. Lord. Mingyu said softly. How is it? The green-skinned old man's muddy eyes looked at him. Mingyu lowered his head respectfully. Lord's guess is very accurate. The three of them aren't willing to join the inner circle, only joining the outer circle. And that Hong is indeed very powerful, Star Traveler Level 9, Domain Level 3. Domain Level 3? The green-skinned old man's eyes gleamed. His originally muddy eyes suddenly became extremely clear, almost as though they were filled with endless wisdom, able to see through one's soul. Before this old man, this Universe 2-star mercenary Ming Yu was incomparably respectful, that was purely from the bottom of his heart. Very good. The green-skinned old man smiled and nodded, his eyes regaining their muddy look. To be able to discover a level 1 elite, that's not bad. After all, special elites, that's something that can only be discovered and not sought. Such a genius, indeed, cannot be forced. To be able to join the outer circle is already not bad. Let them develop on their own. Yes. Mingyu said respectfully. The so-called inspection of Luo Feng and the other two, the so-called observation for a month. These were all orders from Lord Man Luo. He, Mingyu himself, actually wouldn't have the time to leisurely observe Luo Feng and the other two for a month? Earth. Spring was warm and the flowers were blooming. In China's Yangzhou city, a C9 grade dark blue triangular universe ship floated in the air above the castle. This was the ship Luo Feng and the others had just bought, spending 11 billion black dragon dollars. To the current Luo Feng and the others, this indeed wasn't a huge sum. After all, the planet's defense system alone cost Luo Feng tens of times more than the ship. Don't cry, Daddy is only going out, and we can still meet in the virtual universe. Come, be good, give Daddy a kiss. Luo Feng half squatted in front of his two sons. The two very cute and handsome boys kissed Luo Feng fiercely a few times on his cheeks, hugging him tightly, seemingly reluctant to part. Son. Luo Hong patted Luo Feng's shoulder. I won't say much, take care of your safety outside. Right, where's Luo Hua? Luo Feng looked around. Nan, who had come to send them off, said, "Luo Hua, these few days, his financial investments have been extremely tense. Right now it's trading time, he doesn't dare relax at all. Hence, he told me to tell you, when we return to the virtual universe, I'll apologize to you." This punk. Luo Feng shook his head and laughed. Luo Feng said his goodbyes to his family. Beside him, Hong's and Thunder God's families also sent them off. After which, Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God brought their 2 slaves and boarded the universe ship. Who? The dark blue triangular universe ship slowly rose into the air. Under the watchful eyes of the 3 families, it swiftly flew into the atmosphere and disappeared from their field of vision. P.S. The 2nd chapter is here. Tomato, continue writing the 3rd chapter. Chapter 328. The universe ship flew for about 8 hours in the dark universe, passing through the universe and arriving at Bailon Star, 11,800 light-years away from Earth. Bailon Star North, extremely cold region. A C9 grade dark blue universe ship landed in front of the castle in the center of the warehouse. The castle guards immediately came forward to welcome them. "We'll first stay on Bailon Star for 3 days. The Virtual Universe Company will need about 3 days before they can send the Bloodline Catalyst over." Luo Feng immediately jumped down from the cabin door. Stepping on the thick snow, crunching sounds could be heard. Beside him, Hong and Thunder God jumped down too, walking beside Luo Feng. Luo Feng was dressed in a blood-red armor, his waist belt tied tight, his armor fluttering in the cold wind. Thunder God was dressed in a white armor, Hong was dressed in a black armor, of which Luo Feng and Hong's armor were made from the cloud contact vine. Only Thunder God had specially bought a level 2 genetic energy armor. That external department Mingyu, he bragged about the bloodline catalysts so much, who knows if it's true or not. Thunder God muttered, "In the virtual universe network, I can't even find any information about the bloodline catalyst." "Then your authority is not enough." Luo Feng smiled, "Searching for information in the virtual universe network, with our normal identities, finding some unimportant, unclassified, public information is very easy. However, some restricted information requires a high enough level of authority to view it." "TSK, levels are everywhere." Thunder God shook his head. "What places don't have levels?" "The rich and the poor, those in power and normal people." Hong smiled indifferently. On the evening of the 3rd day on Bailon Star, due to the reflection of the snow, the sky was still relatively bright. A disc-shaped dark gray universe ship didn't even stop at the planet's docking bay, instead flying straight to Luo Feng's warehouse base. On this universe ship, there was a huge virtual universe logo representing its identity. Rumble, the ship stopped. Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God stood on the snow, raising their heads and looking at the ship. Hua, the cabin door opened. 3 men and women dressed in black armor. The leading lady was carrying a briefcase. The other 2 followed beside her, directly flying out from the cabin door, landing in front of Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God. The leading lady wore black glasses. As she looked at Luo Feng and the other 2, her glasses flashed a string of data that only she could see. Identity confirmed. The transaction can be completed. Luo Feng, Hong, Thunder God, these are your bloodline evolution catalysts. The white-skinned, cold-faced lady immediately opened the suitcase. Within it were 3 colorful syringe-like tubes filled with colorful liquid. With a kacha sound, she closed the suitcase and handed it to Luo Feng and the other 2. "Thank you." Luo Feng extended his hand to receive it. The 3 men and women immediately turned and flew into the universe ship. In a few seconds, the ship took off and rushed into the sky, breaking through the atmosphere and leaving Bailon Star. Bloodline evolution catalyst. Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God looked at the briefcase. "Go, let's go in." Luo Feng shouted. "Haha, I can't hold it in any longer." Thunder God's eyes lit up. Luo Feng and the other 2 each took a portion of the Bloodline Evolution Catalyst and entered their own training rooms. Bloodline Evolution Catalyst. Luo Feng looked at the colorful liquid in the long needle in his hand. This liquid was incomparably beautiful, so beautiful that it made one's heart tremble. Begin. Without hesitation. He immediately took off the cap of the needle and pierced it into his skin. Slowly pushing it out, the colorful liquid within the needle began to seep into Luo Feng's body. Almost like a crazy cancer cell, it began to madly devour every cell in Luo Feng's body. The pain of being sliced by 1,000 knives rushed into his mind. Damn! Luo Feng gritted his teeth and curled up on the ground. His teeth were clenched tightly, making noises. His gums were bleeding and fresh blood flowed out from the edges of his lip. It really hurts. Luo Feng, bear with it. This thing changes your bloodline, from the deepest part it is indeed very painful. Bear with it, just bear with it and it will be fine. Babata consoled. How much longer? Luo Feng felt his consciousness trembling. Very quickly, not even an hour. Babata said. An hour? Luo Feng could only grit his teeth and endure. No matter how painful it was, he had to endure. Luo Feng didn't hear any howls from the 2 training rooms beside him. Obviously Hong and Thunder God were also enduring the immense pain. HM. Luo Feng's nose emitted a painful groan. And within his body, every single cell in Luo Feng's body had become a battlefield. Whether it was his muscle cells, bone cells, etc., they were all in battle. The evolution of the human bloodline, according to logic, was a long and gradual process, and the bloodline evolution catalyst was developed by the Virtual Universe Company to speed up this fundamental evolution catalyst. The cost of each one was very high. Within the training room, Luo Feng laid on the ground with his arms spread wide open. His clothes were all wet and stuck to his body, showing off his incomparably strong and muscular body. At the same time, his entire being was extremely tired as he laid there without moving. So tired. Too tired. My entire body has completely dispersed. I don't even want to move a finger right now. Luo Feng's consciousness said to Babata. However, there's a comfort that comes from the bones. It's really very comfortable. The bloodline evolution process is definitely painful. However, after the evolution, it's naturally very comfortable. This process actually consumes a large amount of your own life force. You should hurry and use the Muya crystal. It contains a large amount of life force and is a treasure that can accelerate the evolution process. It's best if you use it now. Babata said. Understood. Luo Feng nodded. Inform my big brother and second brother to use the crystal. Luo Feng ordered. Babata used his communicator to inform Hong and Thunder God. Within Bailan's star, Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God were all immersed in their training. One Muya crystal contained a shocking amount of energy. Normally, Luo Feng would only need to spend a little bit of time every day to completely fill up his body. And today, after going through the bloodline evolution, his starving body was madly absorbing the Muya crystal's energy. It's incomparably beautiful. Luo Feng sat crossed-legged, holding a Muya crystal in his hand. Large amounts of life force energy madly entered his body. Every single cell that had just undergone a fundamental change was incomparably hungry as they madly swallowed the energy. They were all too hungry. Every bit of energy that entered his body was immediately swallowed. This absorption process continued on and on. Roughly 23 hours later, the Muya crystal was completely absorbed. Luo Feng took out another Muya crystal. The process of absorbing the Muya crystal's energy was also part of Luo Feng's body's evolution. As his body continued to evolve and grow stronger, naturally, Luo Feng's ability to absorb spirit energy also increased. Large amounts of pure spirit energy entered his consciousness from his original life core, causing the spirit energy in his consciousness to increase. Rumble, the blood-red psychic power surged like the waves of the sea of blood. Then, it gathered crazily and formed a huge blood ball. It kept expanding and contracting, as if there was only one blood ball in the entire world. With the final contraction, the entire sea of consciousness rumbled and a dazzling miniature star was formed. Along with the original miniature star. In his consciousness, the new star revolved around the old star. The old star also revolved slightly, forming a twin star structure. Chi-Chi, an even purer spirit energy, after being purified by the two stars, was like a thin mist that permeated the entire consciousness. At the same time, the void pagoda in his consciousness also began to transform. Star Level 2. Luo Feng's body had already stepped from the Star Traveler Level 7 to the Star Traveler Level 8. His spirit energy had already stepped into the Star Traveler Level 2. One day later, Luo Feng stepped on the soaring shuttle, becoming a beam of light, swiftly flying through the northern region of Bailon Star. His terrifying speed even caused the hard snow below to split apart, forming a ravine. A frozen snow mountain was madly pierced through by a golden swordfish, after which it exploded, large amounts of snow falling down. Awesome! Luo Feng stood in mid-air, watching the snow mountain collapse, extremely carefree. Third brother! Third brother! Two voices resounded from the distance. They're here. The soaring shuttle beneath Luo Feng's feet drew an arc, flying like lightning into the distance. In the distance, two men stood in the snow, one dressed in black and the other in white. It was Hong and Thunder God. The current Hong and Thunder God were in high spirits. They had just used the Bloodline Evolution Catalyst and were reminded by Luo Feng to use the Muya crystals. The two of them immediately used them. At this time, the effects were the best. Hong indeed broke through the barrier and reached the Star Level 1. And Thunder God took the opportunity to reach the Star Level 2. However, such an opportunity was hard to come by. The Bloodline Evolution Catalyst was only effective once. The second use would have almost no effect. However, Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God were very satisfied. After all, the Bloodline Evolution Catalyst's most important effect was allowing their future evolution path to be even faster. Third brother. Hong smiled as he looked at Luo Feng. HM? Luo Feng descended, landing on the snow. Third brother, Big Brother and I are thinking of applying for the Universe Mercenary Trainee exam. What do you think? Thunder God looked at Luo Feng. Universe Mercenary Trainee exam? Luo Feng froze. That's right. Big Brother is now a Star Level 1. He can take the Universe Mercenary Trainee exam. This Universe Mercenary Trainee exam is one of the many exams of the Universe Mercenary Alliance. Back then his good brothers Herua and Bulemu went to take the Universe Mercenary Trainee exam. This entrance exam is to eliminate those who aren't suited for this life and death path. The method of elimination is mostly death. Only if you're lucky can you keep your life. Hence, this mercenary trainee exam has a high death rate. It's famous. Universe Mercenary Trainee exam? Luo Feng muttered. How was it? Hong and Thunder God looked at Luo Feng. When are you preparing to leave? Asked Luo Feng. Of course, the sooner the better. Thunder God couldn't help but say, of course. Before this, let's first take a good look at the Virtual Universe Network, what we have to take note of during the Mercenary Trainee exam. P.S. Chapter 3 has arrived. Tomato continued writing Chapter 4, Brothers, Monthly Votes. Chapter 329. Virtual Universe, Black Dragon Mountain Island 9-Star Bay. Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God sat around a stone table with a floating screen in front of them. On the screen were large amounts of information regarding the Universe Mercenary Trainee exam. The Universe Mercenary Trainee exams are all conducted in the Sector Lord's world. In the Sector Lord's world, other than the dangers of the world itself, the greater danger comes from the other participants of the exam. Robberies can happen at any time, and other people can steal the items you obtain. Luo Feng read the information and frowned. Participating in the trainee exam, if you're a Star Level 2 or 3 stage newbie, it's best to find a star level 8 or 9 stage to form a team. That way you'll at least have the ability to resist or escape from a robbery. Never, ever, ever go in with just a few star level 1 or 2 stage newbies. Even if you're lucky and get the items, they'll still be robbed. Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God finished reading the information and exchanged glances, speechless. So the most dangerous ones are actually the other participants of the mercenary trainee exam. Thunder God shook his head helplessly. The human heart is the hardest to predict, emphasized Hong. Fortunately, we brought 2 servants with us. Even though Luo Feng felt the heavy pressure, he wasn't too nervous. Because when he left, to prevent any trouble, Luo Feng brought along 2 star level 9 slaves. One had to know, he had bought a group of star level 9 slaves. Of these 2, one was a spirit reader and the other was a fighter. They were 2 of the most outstanding ones. These group of star level 9 stage slaves were all taught some basic training techniques by Luo Feng. Since they were slaves, they naturally weren't afraid of betrayal, so Babata didn't stop them. Find a star level 8 or 9 stage to form a team? Laughed Thunder God. Haha, luckily we have 2 powerful helpers. Yeah, we don't need to find a team anymore, laughed Hong. Team up. There's no law to protect them, so they naturally can't trust each other 100%. Preventing someone from stabbing you in the back is very tiring. Luo Feng and the other 2 were lucky to have 2 star level 9 stage slaves. This way they can form a team of 5 and the team is incomparably united. In the vast universe, normally, people of the same race or from the same hometown would have deep feelings for each other. After all, there were too many human races in the universe, and the number of planets was uncountable. Daddy, what are you looking at? Luo Hai, a boy in a battlesuit, skipped over. I'm busy, come, give Daddy a kiss. Luo Feng laughed as he ran over and hugged his son. That night, Luo Feng and the others sat in a universe ship and left by Lon Star. The first adventurer's identity had to be done in the Universe Mercenary Alliance in the real world. Only with an adventurer's identity could one take the trainee mercenary exam. Luo Feng's destination was Dragon Star. 10 days later. On Dragon Star, the Universe Mercenary Alliance's encampment was like a city. Luo Feng, Hong, Thunder God and 2 star level 9 stage bodyguards entered. There sure are a lot of people. Luo Feng praised. It's a sea of people. Thunder God was also dazzled. Large amounts of people entered the Universe Mercenary Alliance. Over 80% of them were here to register as adventurers. Luo Feng and the other 4 were also in the crowd, lining up with the other human races to register as adventurers. After around an hour, it was finally done. Adventure card. This is an adventure card? Thunder God looked at the card in his hand. Don't lose it, it's very troublesome to make a new one. Laughed Luo Feng. Let's go, we'll go apply for the Universe Mercenary Trainee exam. The number of people registering for the Adventurer exam was the highest, and the number of people registering for the Universe Mercenary Trainee exam was much lower, so Luo Feng and the others didn't need to line up at all. Star Level 2 Stage Spirit Reader, Star Level 2 Stage Fighter, Star Level 1 Stage Fighter, Star Level 9 Stage Fighter, Star Level 9 Stage Spirit Reader. You all meet the requirements for the Mercenary Trainee exam. Please pay 10,000 Black Dragon dollars each. Very good. These are the details of your exam, take a look yourselves. After swiping Luo Feng and the others' adventure cards, their numbers have already entered the Universe Mercenary Trainee exam system. They can go and take the exam. Luo Feng, Hong, Thunder God, and the others found a bar beside them and entered. After randomly ordering some drinks, they immediately started to carefully read the exam mission. Entered Song Lon Star's Sector Lord's World. Obtained 3 wind cornerstones and a horned iron rhino horn. After that, hand them over to the Universe Mercenary Alliance workers guarding the exit of the Sector Lord's World. This means that you've passed the Mercenary Trainee exam. From now on, you're a qualified universe mercenary trainee. The exam mission has the purpose of testing. Unlike normal adventures, this mission is to eliminate a large group of people. It definitely won't be easy, muttered Thunder God and then laughed. Wind cornerstone, horned iron rhino horn? When people spend money to buy it, they can just say that they got it themselves, right? Look here, Luo Feng flipped to the 6th page of the exam explanation. The wind cornerstone is a type of stone that only exists in the Sector Lord's world. It contains the attributes of that world. And the ferocious beast, the horned iron rhino, which is raised in the Sector Lord's world, has a mark left on its horn by the Universe Mercenary Alliance. Every time the mission is completed, the exam item will be taken back. Even if someone brings it out, the Universe Mercenary Alliance is extremely strict. Once they find out that someone cheats, they'll immediately cancel their chance to take the exam forever. And the person who sells it, they'll directly kill them. Luo Feng, Hong Chang, and the 2 bodyguards were discussing the Universe Mercenary Trainee exam mission. 5 gentlemen, 5 sirs, an incomparably skinny man with big ears approached with a face full of smiles. 5 sirs are preparing to take the Universe Mercenary Trainee exam, right? HM? Luo Feng and the others looked over. The Black Dragon Mountain Star Field's trainee exams are all conducted in the Sector Lord's world on Songlan Star. I have a detailed map of that world, as well as the experiences of many seniors who completed the trainee exam, said the man in a low voice. With this, your chances of success will at least double. Detailed map? Experiences? Luo Feng looked at the skinny man. How much? Asked Thunder God. Not much, 100 black dragon dollars per copy, said the skinny man. Not much? Just 50 black dragon dollars per copy, said Thunder God directly. Deal. The skinny man was straightforward. On Dragon Star, Luo Feng and the others bought 2 sets of trainee exam books from 2 different places. After carefully comparing them, the maps were exactly the same, and the experiences were all over the place. However, as they read and read, Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God were shocked. This Sector Lord's world will change after a while. On Dragon Star, Luo Feng bought 2 level 2 battle uniforms and 2 level 2 genetic energy weapons, spirit weapons, for his 2 bodyguards. Maybe a high-quality level 2 spirit weapon would cost a few billion black dragon dollars, but he himself only uses a low-quality level 3 spirit weapon. Naturally, the weapons these 2 bodyguards use can only be considered a medium-quality level 2 spirit weapon. Level 2 spirit weapons are enough for a star level. After that, Luo Feng and the other 4 sat in a universe ship and left Dragon Star, heading towards the even more famous Songlan Star. Songlan Star, one of the top 100 most important planets in the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's territory. The owner of this planet is a Sector Lord. Of course, this planet's leader doesn't live on Songlan Star right now. Aogu Tainanhe. From now on, you 2 are the 2 most important members of our team. If we come across people trying to kill us, the 3 of us will have to rely on you in the control room of the spaceship. The 5 of them were all there. Luo Feng was smiling as he looked at the 2 bodyguards in front of him. These were the 2 slaves he brought with him this time. Their appearances were close to that of an Earthling. Aogu was a star level 9 stage spirit reader. He was extremely skinny, his cheeks were fleshy, and his dark red hair was messy. His strength was the number 1 spirit reader out of all the star level 9 stage slaves Luo Feng bought. Tainanhe was a tall and sturdy man with sunken eyes. The only difference between him and an Earthling was that he had 3 scales on his forehead. He was the number 1 fighter out of all the star level 9 stage slaves Luo Feng bought. Protecting the Master is our mission, said the old man Aogu. Master, don't say that, said Tainanhe. Don't be humble, in the future, our team will last for a very long time. If our team disbands in the future, after going through so many life and death situations, if you and I are still alive, I will choose to remove the control of your biochip and let you regain your freedom, said Luo Feng. Aogu and Tainan He's eyes flashed. Freedom. This is what every slave desires. However, under the control of the biochip, they have no way of disobeying their master's orders. Luo Feng nodded to himself. Slaves don't dare to resist, but by giving them a big picture, these two bodyguards will work even harder. And Luo Feng also decided that when these two's strength becomes insufficient and the team disbands, it would be normal for them to be able to go through so many life and death situations with him. We're almost at Songlan Star. The spaceship is about to travel through the universe. Songlan Star, Aogu and Tainan He, these two bodyguards, had a bit of desire in their eyes. They will work hard and protect Luo Feng with their lives, because once their master dies, they're done for, and they'll lose all hope of freedom. Not every master will give their slave a chance at freedom. After traveling through the universe, the spaceship headed towards an incomparably beautiful water blue planet. What a beautiful planet! It's almost as beautiful as our home. Luo Feng stood in the control room and complimented as he looked at the planet in the distant space. It's very beautiful, Thunder God also complimented, but it's really strange. This Songlan star has a diameter of around 32,000 kilometers, and the Sector Lord's world, hidden within Songlan star, in terms of area, is over 100 times the size of Songlan star. In such a huge world, it's said that some peak-stage world overlords are able to hide within a grain of sand. One grain of sand, one world. This is the power of a Sector Lord, complimented Hong. A Sector Lord's world is extremely mysterious. The Universe Mercenary Trainee exam this time will be held in a Sector Lord's world. Who? The dark blue spaceship quickly flew towards Songlan Star. Chapter 330. Songlan Star. Luo Feng's universe ship just arrived and was guided to the planet's docking port by the signal. We can only rely on flying now, it'll be quick. With our speed, we'll arrive in a few minutes. Luo Feng smiled as he and the other four headed towards a bustling metropolis in the distance, Thunder City. Thunder City wasn't originally called this, but later on, a world created by a Sector Lord was discovered by people in Thunder City. And this Sector Lord's world, famous for its thunder, was called the World of Thunder. Thus, this city was also called Thunder City by people from other planet. We've arrived at Thunder City. Luo Feng's group of 5 landed. They could see floating cars everywhere in the city, and some were even flying. The Universe Mercenary Alliance base is around 30 kilometers from here. Thunder God lowered his head and looked at the map that appeared on the mini-quantum computer. After that, he pointed towards the approximate northeast direction of the planet's magnetic field. After that, Luo Feng's group of 5 swiftly headed towards the Universe Mercenary Alliance base. The Sector Lord's world was in the base. The Universe Mercenary Alliance base was only built after the Sector Lord's world was discovered. Luo Feng's group of 5 entered the Universe Mercenary Alliance base. You guys head this way. The villa in front that's heavily surrounded is the World of Thunder. A staff member of the base pointed towards the distance. A staff member of the station pointed at a lonely villa in the distance that was surrounded by a large number of guards in an extremely spacious area. World of Thunder? Villa? The group of people all looked towards that villa. The staff member opened his mouth and laughed. Back then, the Sector Lord who created the World of Thunder probably lived in seclusion in Thunder City and bought a villa to create the World of Thunder. From the outside, who would be able to tell that there's a world much larger than the entire Songlan star inside this villa? However, countless years have passed, and the surrounding villas have long turned into ruins. Oh! Luo Feng nodded, and then smiled as he thanked. Thanks, let's go. Luo Feng, Hong, Thunder God, and the others directly headed towards the villa in the distance. The surroundings of the villa were heavily guarded. Suddenly, the guards actually swiftly opened a path. A man with a 1-star mercenary badge on his chest walked out and looked towards the sky. The surrounding guards were all extremely respectful. Looks like this universe mercenary is one of the leaders here. What's wrong? Luo Feng was a bit surprised. Look, there's a universe ship coming over. Thunder God pointed at the sky. The 5 of them and the surrounding people who had come to the Universe Mercenary Alliance base all looked up. A universe ship from afar. In a flash, it stopped in the air above the base, floating motionlessly. Wah! The hatch opened. Following them were young men and women who looked like they came from many different races. There were more than 20 of them. Lord Jiaya, that universe mercenary, stepped forward. Among the 20 or so young men and women that flew down, there was an incomparably handsome man wearing a purple battle suit. On his chest, there was a 2-star mercenary badge. I'm just sending some of my subordinates here to take the mercenary trainee exam. There's no need for you, the leader, to personally welcome them. Lord Gaia saved my life back then. Now that you're here, how can I not come out? The universe mercenary laughed, after which he looked at the surrounding group of young men and women. These are the Black Cloud Guild's new batch of rookies, they all look pretty good. Haha, there are a few good seedlings among this batch of rookies. The purple-robed man smiled and nodded. After which, the purple-robed man's gaze swept across the group of youths, shouting, "The Universe Mercenary Trainee Exam. I won't say any more about the dangers. I just hope that the next time we meet at the Black Cloud Guild, I'll be able to see you all again. Hurry and enter the Sector Lord's world." "Yes, Chief Instructor," the group of youths respectfully replied. After which, they naturally split into 4 small groups. Each group had star level 2 and 3 stages, as well as star level 8 and 9 stages. The 4 groups swiftly entered the villa one after another. The villa wasn't that big, but when the 20 or so people entered, it was like entering a bottomless pit. The purple-robed man stood there, like a normal person seeing a poisonous snake. He naturally felt his heart palpitate. Luo Feng, Hong, Thunder God, and the other 2 stood far away, not daring to approach. Black Cloud Guild? They're talking about the Black Cloud Guild. What's the Black Cloud Guild? Discussions carried from the surrounding crowd. What's the Black Cloud Guild? Luo Feng looked towards Hong and Thunder God. No idea. Master, we don't know either. Aogu and Tai Nan he both shook their heads. Suddenly, the discussions beside them attracted Luo Feng and the others' attention. This Black Cloud Guild is one of the 4 big organizations of our Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Our Black Dragon Mountain Empire controls the entire Black Dragon Mountain starfield. Its territory is vast, spanning over 8,000 galaxies. The strongest in the empire are of course the 2 sacred lands, followed by the 4 big organizations and the 16 great families. What are the 2 sacred lands? You don't even know this. The 2 sacred lands are Black Dragon Mountain and Ice Sea God Country. It's said that the 2 sacred lands were created by Undying. They have many sector lords under them. The 16 great families, each family has at least 1 sector lord. Sector lord, that's a power that can destroy the heavens and earth, creating a world. Of course, any one of the 2 sacred lands can easily destroy the 16 great families. If the Black Dragon Mountain, Ice Sea God Country, and the 16 great families are part of the government, then the 4 big organizations are part of the civil society. With tens of millions of years of history, some of the elders of the 4 big organizations from the ancient times even entered the Ganwu Universe country. The discussions beside made Luo Feng and the other 4 pay close attention. So, the power distribution of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire was like this: 2 sacred lands, 4 big organizations, and 16 great families. Luo Feng, this is the information regarding the power distribution of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Babata's voice resounded in Luo Feng's mind. Immediately on the screen on Luo Feng's arm, large amounts of words and information appeared. Luo Feng lowered his head to read, simultaneously sending the information to Hong, Thunder God, Aogu and Tai Nan He. Looking carefully, Luo Feng was shocked. The foundation of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire was the Black Dragon Mountain and the Ice Sea God Country, the two sacred lands. The government's strongest power. And among the civil society were the four big organizations. The power spread across thousands of galaxies. Every organization had a group of sector lords. In terms of power, they definitely couldn't be underestimated, and the background of the four big organizations all involved the powerful warriors of the Ganwu Universe country, hence the four big organizations might not be as strict as the two sacred lands. However, the pinnacle of power was almost the same. What? Nulan Shan is from one of the four big organizations, the 100 Tiger Building? Luo Feng was shocked within the information Babata had given him. There was a rough introduction of Nulan Shan in the 100 Tiger Building. After reading it, Luo Feng let out a sigh of relief. It's still alright, he's only a basic member of the 100 Tiger Building, he doesn't have much power. The four big organizations, within the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, could definitely cause a bloodbath. If the Nulan Shan family was a drop of water, then any one of the four big organizations would be an endless, raging ocean. As the pinnacle of power was strong, their backgrounds deep, hence the Black Dragon Mountain Empire could only silently acknowledge the existence of the four big organizations. Nulan Shan's background is that big? Thunder God was shocked, simultaneously using his genetic energy to form a soundproof barrier around him. He's only a basic member of the 100 Tiger Building, not a higher-up, Hong said. 100 Tiger Building, one of the four big organizations, a Universe Level 9 fighter, was indeed considered a basic member. 3 Axe Mountain, 100 Tiger Building, Black Cloud Guild, North Dragon City. In the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, they can cover the sky with one hand. Luo Feng too felt a sense of longing. If one day he could hold a high position in this organization, with one command, he would be able to turn the Nulan Shan family into ruins, thousands of life planets to surrender. Longing my ass. Power is the most important. When you have master's power, one word and you'll be able to make the entire Black Dragon Mountain Empire tremble in fear. Babata shouted. What bullshit sacred land, master already has 9 undying slaves under him. Luo Feng laughed. In front of the Unmo planet master, the Black Dragon Mountain Empire had to lower its head. However, to Luo Feng, this Black Dragon Mountain Empire was still a huge monster. We're here to participate in the Universe Mercenary Trainee exam. Luo Feng's group of 5 stood in front of the villa. The signal scanned Luo Feng's group of 5. The group of guards heard the signal and nodded. Go in. Obviously, Luo Feng's group of 5's identity signal had been approved. A spacious garden. In the garden was a 3-story normal villa. At the entrance of the villa stood 2 cold-looking black-clothed women. One of the black-clothed women looked at Luo Feng's group of 5, emphasizing, 5 adventurers, I believe you understand the dangers of entering the Sector Lord's world. If you regret it now, you can still back out. No need, open the door, said Luo Feng. Creak. One of the women in black pushed open the door of the villa. The Realm Lord's world is on the 2nd floor of the villa. Luo Feng's group of 5 entered in a single file, entered the main hall, and followed the stairs to the 2nd floor. The other rooms on the 2nd floor were very normal. Only one room had a lady with a purple tattoo on her face. She looked at Luo Feng and his team and immediately opened the door. Immediately a light flowed out from within. This is... Luo Feng and the others watched with bated breath. The light was like a bubble, causing Luo Feng and the others to be unable to see through the room. Once you enter, you'll be in the world of thunder. The woman replied coldly. Yes. Luo Feng, Hong, Thunder God, Aogu, Tainan He and the other 2 looked at each other, after which they all extended their hands, one holding the other. Because if they didn't hold hands, the 5 of them would be sent to different places once they entered the world of thunder. World of thunder. Let's go in. Tainan He was the first to step into the light, followed by Thunder God, Luo Feng, Hong, and finally Aogu. It was completely silent. The 5 of them completely disappeared into the light. But the woman at the door closed the door again. Chapter 331. Big Dipper. Before, it was still sunshine, villas, the bustling Universe Mercenary Alliance base. In the blink of an eye, it became night. Rumble, 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 rumble. Tai Nan He, Luo Feng, Hong, Thunder God and Ao Gu had just arrived in the world of thunder. They immediately fell with shocking speed. The 5 immediately controlled the miniature planets within their bodies to change the gravity around them, however it was still too late. With 5 low thuds, Luo Feng and the others all smashed into the ground below. That hurts. Luo Feng stood up. Is the ground filled with nails? Thunder God stood up too. The 5 stood up and surveyed their surroundings. The pitch-black world, only the distant skies had threads of light, causing the entire world to not be completely dark. And below their feet was an endless black desert. Desert. Hong was shocked as he squatted down. This is the death desert mentioned in the books we bought? Thunder God was extremely shocked too. We fell at such a high speed and only made such a small hole. This is still a desert? It's a desert. Luo Feng grabbed a handful of sand from the ground. The sand was dark blue, looking almost black. Every grain of sand was very heavy. The density was definitely 100 times higher than Earth's iron, and the sand had a magnetic force, causing all the sand to stick together. His but landing earlier only made a small hole. The world of thunder, the gravity is about 3,900 times that of Earth, Hong said solemnly, because the entire world was created by Sector Lord experts using the universe origin energy. The foundation of the Sector Lord's world is the universe crystal. The soil, sand, rocks, etc. are all affected by the universe origin energy and are much more special than the outside world. It's special, every grain of sand is very heavy. Luo Feng nodded. That's extravagant, to create such a huge world, how much universe energy was used? Thunder God couldn't help but say. Universe energy. Only those who reached the Sector Lord level could unleash an unbelievable amount of energy. The moment this energy was condensed, it would become the universe crystal. Universe crystals were considered the hard currency of the universe. This wasn't like the silver blue dollars, black dragon dollars, Ganwu dollars, etc. It was formed from the universe energy. Hence, it could be used in any universe country, any race. The gravity is too strong, even my spirit energy is affected. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. What's the range? Thunder God asked. Not even 1,000th of Earth, Luo Feng said. Star Traveler Level 1 spirit readers, on Earth, their spirit force could reach a range of 1 kilometer. And the Star Level 1 had a 100 kilometers range. However, Luo Feng was a Star Level 2 spirit reader, in this Sector Lord's world where the gravity was 3,900 times that of Earth. His range wasn't even 100 m. My telekinesis range is less than 1,000 meters, Ao Gu said. The Desert of Death is one of the most dangerous regions in the world of thunder. Hong continued, moreover, it is currently late at night, and we are unable to ascertain the exact direction. However, the longer they stayed in the Death Desert, the more dangerous it would be. We have to leave immediately. Pick a random direction and move forward as fast as we can. The Desert of Death was one of the forbidden areas of the world of thunder. Even ferocious beasts did not dare to live here. Right, let's hurry up and go, Thunder God said. Let's go in this direction, forward. Luo Feng pointed in a random direction. Instantly, Luo Feng and the other 4 flew into the air. Even though the gravity here was strong, it wasn't to the point where star levels couldn't fly. Of course, due to the astonishing gravitational pull, their flying speed was much slower than before. After flying for about 5 minutes, Luo Feng and the other 4 were still flying swiftly above the Desert of Death. Suddenly, the team's strongest spirit reader, Ao Gu, creased his eyebrows. Master, something's wrong. Something's wrong? Luo Feng looked at Aogu. Look behind. Thunder God shouted. Behind? Luo Feng, Hong, Tainan He and Aogu all turned to look. Behind them was an earth-shattering black sandstorm, madly heading towards Luo Feng's direction with shocking speed. At the same time, under that earth-shattering sandstorm, there was a group of young men and women desperately fleeing for their lives. Death Dust Storm. Aogu's face was pale. It's the Death Dust Storm, quickly flee. Thunder God shouted. Quickly, quickly, quickly. Hong was panicking too. Rumble. 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 The five immediately flew at their fastest speed. Aogu, in his panic, grabbed onto the slowest flying Hong and Thunder God. Luo Feng relied on the soaring shuttle beneath his feet, flying at a speed similar to Aogu's. The Death Dust Storm, one of the many dangers recorded in the books Luo Feng and the others bought. The Death Dust Storm was one of the three great dangers in the Desert of Death. There was no pattern to its appearance. It appeared suddenly, covering the sky and covering the land, making it impossible for people to hide. The experiences of generations of seniors told their juniors against the Death Dust Storm. Drilling into the desert was courting death. Flying into the sky was also courting death. The only way was to compete with the Death Dust Storm in terms of speed. If the Death Dust Storm hasn't caught up to you before it dissipates, that means you've survived. We've just entered the world of thunder, and we've already met the Death Dust Storm. What the hell is this? Thunder God cursed. Look, behind us seems to be one of the 4 Black Cloud Guild teams that entered the world of thunder before us. Luo Feng used his spirit energy to control the soaring shuttle, maintaining its maximum speed. HM? Luo Feng turned to look behind him. There was indeed a small team, young men and women, madly being chased by the earth-shattering sandstorm. Looking at their attire, they were indeed one of the 4 Black Cloud Guild teams that entered the world of thunder before Luo Feng. The madly fleeing team had a total of 6 people, 4 men and 2 women. Flee. Madly fleeing for their lives. The Death Dust Storm constantly neared this Black Cloud Guild team. At the back of the team, a sturdy man with a single horn on his head roared angrily and unwillingly. Chi. The Death Dust Storm finally touched this man, immediately engulfing him. The dust storm infused with the universe energies engulfed him. This man seemed to have been ground by a meat grinder. The armor on his body immediately ripped apart. Large amounts of blood, flesh and bones flew everywhere. Ah! Quickly flee. Quickly! The other 5 members of this Black Cloud Guild team all had ferocious expressions. In the face of death, they all exploded with their fastest speeds. And a few kilometers ahead of this team, Luo Feng's team was completely frightened and ran even faster. Quickly, 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 quickly flee. Don't let the Death Dust Storm catch up. Damn, this Death Dust Storm is too terrifying. To actually produce such a strong dust storm, I'm sure, even underground in the desert would be affected by that terrifying stirring energy. No wonder the books said that drilling underground would definitely result in death. Even though Thunder God was nervous, he didn't have anything else to do, because he and Hong were relying on the spirit reader Aogu to carry them. Aogu alone carried 2 others, Luo Feng on the soaring shuttle, and Tainan He flying alone. Their speed was indeed very fast. After the Black Cloud Guild team behind lost another 2 slow runners, the Death Dust Storm's speed began to decrease. The energy that filled the sky also began to decrease. Obviously this Death Dust Storm was reaching its end. Phew, we've finally escaped. Only then did Luo Feng let out a sigh of relief. Look, the Black Cloud Guild team only has 3 people left. 1 star level 9 spirit reader, and 2 star level 2 and 3 youth. Thunder God looked at the 3 swiftly chasing behind him. Amongst the 3, a star level 9 man stood on a round disc, bringing a young couple. Very normal. Luo Feng too gazed at the 3 in the distance. The little teams arranged by the Black Cloud Guild. Every team will have a star level 9, The Star Level 9 members are the babysitters. The ones who are actually here to train and test are the Star Level 2 and 3 youths. These are the important younger generation elites of the Black Cloud Guild. Those three intentionally distanced themselves from Luo Feng's team, flying in another direction. This sudden death dust storm caused the Black Cloud Guild team to suffer heavy losses. Even though Luo Feng's team didn't suffer any losses, they still didn't dare relax. After flying for another half an hour or so, "Master, there's a continuous mountain range ahead." Tai Nan He's sunken eyes, however he saw an unremarkable mountain range in the distance. "We've discovered the mountain range?" Luo Feng and his team sped up. Indeed, an endless mountain range appeared before them. This mountain range even had large amounts of trees and plants. Compared to the Desert of Death, this mountain range was obviously filled with life. "It really is a mountain range." Hong Lian lowered his head to look at the AI screen, saying, "Second brother, third brother, according to the map, I think we should have reached the Long So mountain range." Long So mountain range? Thunder God rushed into the sky, flying high up, carefully observing the mountain range's silhouette, looking at a few special places, after which he lowered his head to look at the AI screen. This should be the middle area between the Long So mountain range and the Desert of Death. The distance to our destination, Demon Moon Lake, is 16,000 kilometers. Demon Moon Lake was located within the Long So mountain range. It was a lake that was over 100 km wide, as there was a large amount of water here, hence there were many ferocious beast hordes gathered around the lake. Amongst them was the Horned Iron Rhino horde. The horn of the Horned Iron Rhino was one of the items needed to pass this test. "Big brother, second brother, we have to be more careful in this Long So mountain range than in the Desert of Death. The Desert of Death is normally a natural threat, and in this Long So mountain range, there are many trees and forests, ferocious beasts. Many of the humans participating in the test will be there. Fighting with the ferocious beasts, killing each other is common." Luo Feng reminded. "Understood." Hong and Thunder God nodded. In terms of danger, this Long So mountain range was the true danger. Of course, in the world of thunder, the Horned Iron Rhino horde wasn't just around Demon Moon Lake, there were other places too. However, Demon Moon Lake was currently the closest to Luo Feng and his team. "Be careful of the humans, be careful of the natural threats of this sector, Lord World, especially the thunder. If there are any signs of thunder, immediately leave the place where you might be struck." Luo Feng still remembered the introduction from the books he bought. The most terrifying natural threat in the entire world of thunder was thunder. This world was named the World of Thunder. It was because the thunder in this world was too terrifying, far surpassing the other natural threats. The moment one was struck, even a weaker domain lord would instantly turn to dust. Star level? There was definitely no chance of survival. P.S. Chapter 2 has ended. Tomato continues writing Chapter 3. Calling for monthly votes.